College Sports presents Southland Conference football. Tonight from Husky Stadium in Houston, Texas, it's the second-ranked Sam Houston State Bearcats versus the Houston Baptist Huskies. And a very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Husky Stadium. Tom Franklin here alongside John Harris. A couple of teams looking for their third win of the season tonight. Sam Houston State ranked second in the nation at 2-0, and Houston Baptist coming in with back-to-back victories for the first time in their school history with a 2-1 record.
Yeah, absolutely. Great win for HBU last week against Abilene Christian. Game win into overtime. The confidence boost HBU gets from that, we'll find out tonight against the number 2 ranked Sam Houston State Bearcats.
Football these days is all about the offense, but tonight we're going to pick out a couple of defensive players for you to look at. Each team has an outstanding defensive performer. For Sam Houston State, their outstanding defensive end, P.J. Hall, the reigning Southland Conference Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, Tom, his Twitter handle is @PJJWatt. What does that tell you? He's the National Defensive Player of the Week. 4.5 tackles for a loss, 6'1", 275, and maybe the quickest first step I've seen in all of FCS, and that includes FBS as well.
And for the Houston Baptist Huskies, a guy who has never missed a game starting, that's in the middle of the defense, the middle linebacker, Garrett Dolan.
The heart and soul. He has done it in every way, shape, or form on the defense. 42 tackles, tackles for a loss, sacks. He's all over the place, Tom. He is fantastic to watch.
So a couple of guys for you to watch during today's ballgame. P.J. Hall for Sam Houston State and Garrett Dolan for Houston. Stay tuned. We'll come back with the opening kickoff tonight from Husky Stadium right after this timeout. And you see the teams preparing to take the field tonight here at Husky Stadium for tonight's Southland Conference matchup. The Sam Houston State Bearcats against the Houston Baptist Huskies. Sam Houston State, an FCS semifinalist last year, losing to Jacksonville State in the semifinals. Off to a 2-0 start this year with wins over Oklahoma Panhandle State and Lamar. Meanwhile, the Houston Baptist Huskies come in here, an opening loss to Central Arkansas, followed up by back-to-back wins over Texas Southern and Abilene Christian, the first time that this third-year program has put together back-to-back wins. It's going to be interesting to see off of those two victories, John, what confidence and what kind of demeanor the Husky team has coming into today's ballgame against such an outstanding opponent.
I don't want to say that the Huskies are playing with house money, but in some sense, sitting at 2-1, maybe they feel like they're playing with house money, and that confidence can get you a lot further than you think off of 2 wins, especially beating a Southland Conference opponent. Only the second time they've done that in their program's history.
All right, let's bring in the third member of our crew now. Down on the field, on the sideline is Jeff Power. Jeff?
Yeah, Jeremy Briscoe is the starting quarterback for Sam Houston State out here tonight. Of course, Sam Houston gets the ball first, winning the toss. He was sensational last week against Lamar, 328 yards passing, 3 touchdowns through the air. His head coach, Casey Keeler, is 2 wins away from number 200 in his career. They'd like to get that done tonight. Back upstairs.
So it will be HBU to kick off. And Javin Wood will be on the far hash mark. On the near hash mark is Jalen Harris for the Sam Houston State Bearcats. The Bearcats in the visiting white jerseys and pants with the orange helmets. HBU in the home blue jerseys and pants with the white helmets and the white numerals that stand out brightly tonight here at Husky Stadium.
Stressing the white numerals for a couple of old guys up in the box that can't see real well. Those are a sight for sore eyes.
Alec Chadwick will kick it away for the Huskies. And we are underway tonight. And this will go through the back of the end zone, over the head of Jalen Harris. And here comes Jeremiah Briscoe, the 6'3 junior. Last week, 24-35, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he was sacked once in their victory over Lamar by a score of 44-31.
Tom, the motto for Sam's offense is don't blink. I wrote down on my notes that today I'm going to follow the KISS philosophy. Keep it short, stupid, meaning me, because they will go so fast. There's so little to say in between each play, so we'll keep it as short as possible. But that's Sam's motto. Don't blink. They're going to go that fast.
Briscoe in the backfield, and Webb will be at his left shoulder on 1st and 10. Ball deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Well, how about that? Put a hand up in the face and take away the throwing lane. Here's the Bearcats starting lineup.
Now these guys will get ready to go, and they're already back at the line of scrimmage, big, and they will hammer you.
2nd down and 10. Briscoe swings it out of the backfield for Webb. Got a block on the edge and across the 30 and out to about the 33-yard line. Before he will be tripped up there by Taylor Thompson.
Said Thompson's name a lot last week. Corey Avery, not in the lineup right now. It is Webb at running back, but watch for Yeti Lewis, number 9. These receivers can fly.
3rd down and 2, and here's Webb over the left guard, and he'll have the 1st down as he'll drive his way out to the 40-yard line.
This is what's impressive about the Sam offensive line. Look how fast they get to the line. They get a hat on a hat. Great block in there by number 51, Sam Hardy, on the linebacker, the open route for Webb, and they're back at it.
Webb again, this time over the right side, and he'll come forward for about 7 or 8 yards. Down at the bottom of the pile was Manderville, and up top was G to make the tackle.
Like I said, keep it short. There's nothing really to say. Sam's back at the line of scrimmage, and this offense is rolling. Number 1 offense in all of FCS.
2nd down and 2. Blitz coming. Dolan got there late, but he forced the pass off target. Swinging the ball to the outside, looking for Tyler Scott. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
The last couple of weeks, Tom, we have seen, we'll look at the HBU lineup here. Andre Walker, a freshman, has done a really nice job for them. And Terrence Manderville is the guy you'll see all over the field. Garrett Dolan's the star of that linebacking crew with 2 starters missing. The secondary for HBU has been outstanding.
Big 3rd down and 2 coming up here for the Bearcats right near midfield at the 48-yard line, opening drive of the ball game. Now Briscoe looks to the sideline for an alternate play call. Play clock is down to 6. Briscoe throws it out on the slant, has his man on the outside, Grant Finney, for the 1st down at the 45-yard line in HBU territory.
I like the way that Briscoe operates. He operates the offense. He gets everybody up there quickly. Very calm, composed, poised. Got the slant route. Nice, easy route to get him going there after missing that first throw. And Sam's ready to go at the line of scrimmage again.
And HBU better be ready. Swing a man in motion out of the slot. Briscoe will throw on 1st and 10. Deep down the middle, he's got a man. And it's caught inside the 10-yard line by Davion Davis.
Davis just running the post route, got matched up on Derek Broussard. And Briscoe had a lot of time to throw, just lofted out there and let Davis go get it. You'll see the look from the end zone shot here. Throw it where your guy can go make a play. Broussard was close, but unable to make the play. Great catch by Davis, great start by Sam's offense.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Now they'll slow it down just a hair. Davis, a guy who played the slot last year, but Casey Keeler said, I need to get him on the outside where he can make bigger plays for me. You saw one there for 37 yards. Briscoe on the read option. Tosses on the corner, fighting for the goal line. Ball fumbled at the last minute was Remus Bulmer. They're going to say Bulmer was out at the 1-yard line.
This is one of the best looking running plays I've seen. Watch the line zone block to the right, and yet Briscoe and running back run speed option to the left. What an excellent play call there to catch HBU following the line, reading their keys as they're supposed to, and Briscoe is off on the option.
Webb coasts into the end zone over right tackle, untouched for the score. And Sam Houston goes on top by a score of 6-0. Wow.
That's what Sam has done all year long. They made it look easy, that 3rd and 2 through the slant route. Then they get the post route down the field. Love the execution. Briscoe completely in charge on that drive. We'll see how HBU's defense is going to respond tonight, Tom, but that was a tough drive to start off the game against Sam's offense.
Luke Swinberga tried the point after. Ball backing down, kick is up on the way and good. So just like that with the opening possession, Sam Houston State marches 75 yards down the field, capped off by this 1-yard touchdown run by Javin Webb.
A lot of room there. You see Hardy on the pop and pull, coming over from his left guard spot. Hat on a hat, that's what Sam does. When they spread you out like that, and it doesn't matter whether they're at their own 2-yard line or HBU's 2-yard line or in the middle of the field, they will spread you out and then they will run inside. That offensive line is big and they will pop and pull all night long. HBU's defensive line has got to respond or it's going to be a long night, but what an excellent drive to start off with Jeremiah Briscoe. And Webb next to him, not Corey Avery, the star of that offense, not in the lineup. That was Webb's drive all the way through.
9 plays, 75 yards, only took 1 minute and 56 seconds to go racing down the field. Casey Keeler is one of these guys who is not happy unless his team snaps it at least 90 times in a ball game, and more preferably he wants 100 or more. And you saw how they can do it right on that opening drive.
These college coaches get greedy. I want 125 snaps tonight, guys. They'll never get there, but they sure try.
Back deepest of all for HBU is Ricardo Barnett at the goal line to await Swinberga's kick. Sends it away high and straight away, and Barnett from the 2-yard line makes a nice move. Whoa, man, and then the coverage team looked like he had a little seam. He got to the 19-yard line, but that's all. And that is where Tony Dawson and the HBU offense will go on the attack for the first time tonight.
Now, we've seen the last 2 weeks, Tom, with Dawson running this offense, that HBU has been up-tempo. This might be one of those times where the up-tempo might be a little slower than it was the last couple of weeks, because you want to keep Briscoe and the boys on that sideline to help your defense out as much as humanly possible.
Last week against Abilene Christian, 13-25, 239 yards, and the touchdown, the game-winning score in an overtime victory over Abilene Christian. It's a running play over the right side for Terrence Peters. They'll give him a couple out to the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
There's one area that stands out watching Sam on tape. It is that defensive line led by P.J. Hall, number 92. You see him in the right 5 technique. He's the star, but that whole group plays very well together.
On 2nd down, give it to Peters. He got hit in the backfield and got lucky to get back to the 20-yard line. Very quick penetration there by Saoni Alatu. Here is the HBU starting lineup across the middle. Kyle Tomasi anchoring in the center. And then your backs and receivers. Peters, their leading running back. Wesley Lewis caught the game-winning touchdown last week in overtime against Abilene Christian. 3rd down and 9 for the Huskies. Not something they would like to do against Sam Houston. Dawson steps up under pressure and throws near side looking for Barnett. He might have been hit right at the very end that forced that throw a little bit offline.
P.J. Hall was coming off the right side. You see the Bearcats starting lineup. 92 Hall is the guy who will circle there, but those front 4 will get after it. Justin Chapman Stokes, a little bit different lineup at linebacker due to some injuries. Keep an eye on Sammy Webb, the corner, number 23.
Now the very dangerous Yeti Lewis back to receive the punt from Christian Guzman. Lewis from the 40-yard line spins off the first man, keeps his feet. Flag is down. Another flag is down. They'll finally bring Lewis down at the 44-yard line in HBU territory, but this is coming back. We have laundry all over the field here.
We got helmets off, we got flags down, we got all kinds of things going on. I think this one's going to go against Sam, but we'll get the call here. I would imagine thrown where it was is a block in the back.
Our referee tonight is Ross Smith, leading the crew.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 88 receiving team. 10-yard penalty will be enforced for the spot of the foul. First down.
There it is right there, about to make the tackle for HBU. Gets the block in the back. Looks like that was Austin MacArthur. Number 35 with the block in the back. There were a couple of flags. I think there were a couple of blocks in the back, but we just happened to see that one right there.
Well, they didn't call that one. They called the second one because the 40 is where he originally fielded the ball.
And to that point, Sam gets the ball at the 40-yard line, even with the penalty.
Bearcats with the lead, 7-0, their second possession of the ball game. 3 receivers near side. Webb has got the run over the left. He'll be brought down about the 43-yard line. Latravion G coming up from the safety spot to make the tackle.
Tom, I mentioned it earlier. We were going through the starting lineups. This secondary with G, Thompson, Hardham, and Broussard has played very well the last couple of weeks. G making a great tackle right there.
On second down, Briscoe comes near side and throw it to the outside. And the intended receiver, Tyler Scott. Kyle Bowling making the coverage play, coming out from the linebacker position. Excellent coverage there on that second down pass.
Yeah, great job. You'll see Briscoe take a hit right at the end there. Little blitz off the right side, and that puts Sam 3rd and 7, I guess 3rd and long. Long for them, I would imagine.
Just 38% on 3rd down over the year. Throwing it over the middle for Tyler Scott, cannot hang on. Excellent coverage in the secondary by Nicholas Smith to break that up. 3 and out for the Bearcats.
Tom, we got a long way to go in this game. And you watch this great coverage by Nicholas Smith. Look at this, not interference either. He just got his hand in there and raked the ball right there out of Tyler Scott's hands. Excellent job there by Nicholas Smith. But how about the response by the HBU defense? Sam might put a lot of points on the board tonight. But to come back the way they did, that's a building block for this HBU D. Great job there by the unit.
Joseph Figgenshaw does the punting off the side of his foot. Hits at about the 24-yard line. A little bit of a favorable roll for Sam Houston State, and they'll cover it up at the 18-yard line. And that is where the Huskies will have it for the second time. We still have 11:03 to play here in the opening quarter. 7-0 for Sam Houston State.
Great answer there by HBU with that defense. Now let's see what the offense does. We talk about confidence off of last week's win against Abilene Christian. The offense did some good things that night as well. Let's see if they can build on it. But they first have to control that front four. They cannot be in 2nd and 9, 3rd and 8 the entire game. That front four will just eat all day long. But they got to find a way to block those guys up front, find some seams for Terrence Peters.
Dawson gives to Peters, bounces off a couple of guys and then got hammered as he got to the 20-yard line. The man down low for Sam Houston State was number 31, and that was Carlos Teal from the secondary of the corner.
You also saw inside linebacker Justin Johnson making the play as well. It's kind of nice if you're a linebacker and they can't get a body to you because they have to double team everybody up front.
Quick handoff to Peters, trying to sweep left, and there's nothing but white shirts over there.
Keep an eye on number 92, P.J. Hall. Watch the defensive end string this play out. Look at him right here at Mev Adjin. Adjin cannot get to his outside shoulder, and because of that, Peters had nowhere to go. He allows all the help to come from inside out. P.J. Hall doesn't get the tackle, but he does make the play. He allowed his defensive mates to get there. And now look at where number 92 is. Right here at left 3 technique on the inside on the guard. Watch him, keep an eye on him.
Dawson runs away, but he cannot run away. Being brought down there by big number 94. And that is Cody Brooks making the sack, but as you mentioned, set up by the rushing presence of Hall.
P.J. Hall bumped inside the 3 technique, and we're seeing a lot of teams in college football do that with bigger edge players. Like Jonathan Allen at Alabama, like P.J. Hall at Sam, bump him inside. They can win against the guard, and he did right there.
Christensen booms one from his own goal line. Yeti Lewis drifts all the way back to his 25, and now he's on the run. Penalty marker is down, and they'll finally corral Lewis across the 40 at the 41-yard line, but some of this is coming back. But what a great kick by Christian Guzman.
He hit a rocket. Wow, what a punt. If that flag is indicative of where the penalty is, Sam will start back at about their 21,
22.
Maybe inside the 20, somewhere in there.
What a huge kick that was for Guzman.
But you said Yeti Lewis is going down, and he wasn't quite there, and I thought, oh my goodness, he might squirt out of this, but the flag was already down, so it would have come back anyways.
Illegal block in the back, number 41 of the return team. The 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul.
Santiago Montoya. Let's see if we can pick it up right there.
There it is.
There it is.
Right there, looked like that was Garrett Dolan coming down into coverage. He may not have needed to do it. It looked like Yeti Lewis was going to end up going by him anyways. But put Sam back at the 25. Their second, well, the first drive was started at the 20, so this is their third drive.
25 in college. So this is where they started the first time. Their third possession of the ball game. 59-yard punt by Guzman to kick him out of trouble.
That's a sight right there. Number 20, Doran Turner is back on the field after last week, and we'll talk about what happened last week if you missed it.
Briscoe to throw over the middle, has the man, ball knocked away. Intended for Colin Ryson. And just as he was about to reel that in, the boom came from the secondary.
Derek Broussard dropped the hammer. It looked like, look at this, this is a great throw by Briscoe. Has to reach for it, and Broussard timed it up perfectly and legally. What a great hit, great coverage right there to set up 2nd and 10. Derek Broussard played a wonderful game last week, and he continues that tonight, at least this early in the game.
Put his shoulder right into the football. Briscoe again over the middle and underthrew his intended receiver, looking for Yeti Lewis across the 40-yard line. Lewis had gotten free. Briscoe's had some targets here. He has not been quite as accurate as he normally is with the football.
Yeah, he hit that post route early on to Davis down the field that set them up for a score. And that wasn't a great throw to the tight end down that seam route, but it was good enough. Broussard just made a great play. That one, not the best throw. Now you see HBU with all their linebackers.
Oh, we got a movement.
And that probably caused the movement right there by right tackle.
Mitchell Watanabe.
I'll let you say it. Thank you, Tom. Easy for you to say. Going to be in 3rd and 15.
Oh, they're going to call offside against HBU that forced the move.
Well.
In that case, we didn't hear the microphone of Ross Smith, but that would have been Terrence Manderville who got in the neutral zone and forced the movement.
I don't know about that. It's just, if you watch what HBU's doing here, they'll move these guys around, not declaring where they're going to rush. I don't know if that's what caused the false start. That should have been a false start penalty.
Briscoe with a quick throw in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Davion Davis. He would have had the first down as he had gotten inside position on Chris Taylor, but couldn't hang on to the football.
Not the best throw, but a throw you've got to catch for a first down. Simple as that. Little hitch route, little slant route. He hits you with the football, you've got to make that catch. It looked like he wanted to wheel out to the sideline and run before he had the catch secured. And HBU gets another 3 and out.
Joseph Figgenshaw to punt for the 2nd time. Brandon Taylor stands back at his own 26. Figgenshaw, much better kick this time, driving it into the wind, sending Taylor back to the 20.
He's got some room.
Whoa, big block on the corner as Taylor gets out to the 38-yard line. Oh, there's your hit of the week right there. My goodness, we'll take a look at that when we come back. Timeout on the field, 8:50 to play opening quarter. An exciting start to our ball game tonight. Sam Houston State up by 7.
Someone must have my card number.
3s and out.
So I can pick up a new debit card right now? Thank you. All right, everyone, follow me.
Coach, the gym is that way.
Okay, everyone, do some squats.
Come on. This may take a while. Here's your card.
Thank you.
Instant issue debit cards. Security, convenience, together.
Well, that was fast.
Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Where next? The dentist?
HBU with the ball at their own 36 after a 16-yard punt return from Brandon Taylor, helped by that block you saw go streaking by Ari Hinton Nelson. Oh, man.
I have been on the receiving end of one of those. I have been on the giving end of one of those. It's fun when you're giving it.
Yeah.
But
let's go on the sideline for Jeff Power.
Yeah, Charlie Camp and Roger Henshaw, the co-defensive coordinators for HBU. And if you haven't seen HBU play this year, they're much more aggressive on defense. Lots of blitzes, moving around on the ball. In fact, they were telling me practice Tuesday, cut short of lightning. Best practice all year on Wednesday. Back to you.
On 1st and 10, Dawson will empty the backfield as Peters goes and wings up on the right. And Peters stripped from behind, loose ball. And I think HBU is going to get it back at the 28-yard line. Just as Dawson was going to rear back and fire, he lost the football. It got ripped out of his hands.
If you're HBU and you're going empty, it means you're going one-on-one against 92. That's not a good matchup. I don't care who you have over there. Hunter Barron's got his work cut out for him. 92 is a man-child. He can squat 700 pounds. You know, I know this. I saw him do it on Twitter. In a deep squat, and you can see, look at the body on this guy. His legs and butt, and that's all that was. Strength.
On 2nd down and 18, option pitch. And Peters has some running room as he gets across the 35 and out to the 38-yard line before he will finally be wrestled down there by Tyrell Stokes.
Now, one of the things you can do is not block a guy and pitch off of him, and that's what they just did. They ran speed option, and Tony Dawson has to be very brave to be running at 6'1", 280 pounds, and then flip it out there. But that was well executed, well blocked, and therefore Peters was able to get up to see him and get a ton of yards on that play.
Both teams a little discombobulated, lining up for this 3rd down and 8.
This is their first charge.
And so they decide.
This is a 30-second timeout.
Casey Keeler says, I want my guys to keep Sam Houston State at bay. I'm taking a timeout to make sure we got the right ball and the right personnel on the field on this 3rd down and long.
Tom, we talked about Hall in the open, how dominant he is. That play right there shows you that HBU knows exactly the guy that is the straw stirring the drink for Sam's defense. Against Lamar, Lamar tried to run at P.J. Hall, but they didn't run a lot of option. They ran more zone read. Hall would force the give to Kate Harrington, one of the top running backs in all of Southland Conference, and then he'd go run that guy down for a tackle for a loss. This time they forced Hall to come all the way to Dawson, flipped it at the perfect time, and ended up with the 11-yard gain there to set up 3rd and 8. But now Hall's back inside to keep an eye on that matchup inside against the guards.
On this big 3rd down play, Dawson's in trouble. He scrambles away, being chased on the outside. Now lets it go, and it's incomplete between 2 receivers. The short receiver was Lewis, and the deep receiver there was Taylor. It'll be 4th down, a kicking situation. You saw the graphic during the timeout. Casey Keeler with 198 career victories now, just 2 shy of that magical 200 mark. It's kind of that standard bearer for collegiate coaches.
My guess is, Tom, he'll get there this year.
Yeah, I think so.
I would think. I mean, he can't get 2 wins tonight, but I would imagine he will get to that mark. And what a program he has continued at Sam Houston State.
Been successful all around. Another high, towering kick by Chapman. And Yeti Lewis has to wave for the fair catch at the 13-yard line. My goodness, has Chapman been a weapon here in the early going for the Huskies.
Wow, what a bomb. Watching Christian Guzman before the game punt into that end. In fact, watching both punters, because Figgenshaw was doing the same thing. And you can see our flags, they're moving right to left. They're not as stiff as they were last week, but there is definitely a wind right to left. And Guzman is taking advantage of it, hitting a couple of rocket shots early on in the game.
49 yards, no return that time. Still 7-0 Sam Houston State, and believe it or not, we're just at the midway point of the 1st quarter. We've had a lot of action. So from the 13, the Bearcats go on the attack, and Javin Webb remains the running back. Just a 3-man rush. Briscoe takes the time and throws over the middle, incomplete. 3 blue shirts surrounding the ball. Yeti Lewis was the intended receiver.
This is what you talk about when you have experience. Briscoe got the play from the sideline, checked the play, HBU's defense checked into a different set, and that gave them protection in the middle on that pass route. And Garrett Dolan was able to drop right there because of the change at the line of scrimmage by the HBU defense.
Second down and 10. Fake it to Webb. Throw it deep down the far side and overthrew everybody. Closest to the ball was HBU defensive back Chris Hardiman.
Great bracket coverage, guy over the top, guy underneath. A little bit of pressure off the edge there from Garrett Dolan. Forced Briscoe to have to get rid of that. And you'll see it right here. Look at Dolan coming a little bit late. Just gets his hands up and forces that long throw. Hardiman closer than Tyler Scott to that football, bringing up 3rd and 10.
There's Doran Turner running on for this 3rd down play. Number 20. Kid who was carted off the field last week, back on the field this week. Amazing. Briscoe on 3rd down. Here comes Mandeville. They set up the screen for Webb. Across the 20, across the 25, and finally tracked down from behind at the 35-yard line by Doran Turner.
There is such a hopeless feeling as a defensive coordinator when you see, and you'll watch it, look at Mandeville just come clean. You know that Sam's offensive line is better than that. You know right away it's slip screen, and you saw Webb break a tackle, get upfield. That guy is strong, he is thick trunk, and he is tough to tackle. Great call there on 3rd down.
Big 21-yard pickup, and now Webb on the ground has some running room across midfield, and finally wrestled down by Garrett Dolan at the 48 in HBU territory. Another 17 yards for Webb.
Just a lot of room to run. Great job by the offensive line. They cut down in the middle there, and they get Bulmer a lot of room. Go north and south, young fella, and he did there with a big seam in the middle.
Fake it to Bulmer. Briscoe throws. Caught inside the 30 by Lewis down the sideline, and he will score. Yeti Lewis got away from Taylor Thompson back near the 20-yard line and was home free down the stripe. And Sam Houston's opened up a 13-0 lead.
Yeti Lewis on the corner route, little short corner there. Got to the sideline, they lost him in coverage, and Briscoe, a lot of time to throw. Made probably his best throw of the night right there. But it goes back to the screen on 3rd and 10. I got him started. Nice run and a beautiful throw there by Briscoe to Lewis on the sidelines.
Figgenshaw, the punter, holds for the place kicker, Swimberringa. And the kick is good. Here comes the touchdown pass. And there's the missed tackle by Taylor, and nobody else could get there. G couldn't get over.
That's the trouble against Yeti Lewis. If he's in the slot, that means you're going to have a safety covering him. And Taylor Thompson tackled everything that moved last week against Abilene Christian, but really didn't have to cover anybody as electric and as dynamic as Yeti Lewis. He got matched up on him when he ran the corner. He had him by 2 steps. Briscoe able to make the good, solid, strong throw from the pocket with no pressure this time. Lewis able to get it, and then sneak up the sidelines. It's an explosive offense, I think that goes without saying.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter which guy it is. It could be Lewis, it could be Bulmer who had the long run, it could be Webb on the screen. They can hurt you a lot of different ways. What can help this HBU defense is the offense doing a little something right now to get a drop going and give them a little bit of rest.
Exactly right. 5 plays, 87 yards, needed just 58 seconds to score, did Sam Houston State. Swimberringa's kick, far sideline, goes out of bounds. And HBU's going to get ideal field position with a kick out of bounds.
Free kick. Number 39.
You take it where you get it.
Briscoe just 5 of 14 out of the gate, but that big 48-yard touchdown pass goes to Lewis' 2nd receiving touchdown of the year.
And it's big plays. Tom, you just mentioned it. Look at the long for Webb on the screen of 21. Davis, he hit on the post route on the first drive, and he hits Lewis for that 48-yarder. It's big plays. HBU has done a pretty solid job defensively, but the big plays are the killer against an offense this explosive and dynamic.
So the Huskies start at their own 35, now down by 2 scores. 6:23 left here in the opening quarter. Swinging out of the backfield, and this is B.J. Kelly. And he's got back to the line of scrimmage, but that is all. An excellent pursuit coming there from Hunter Brown.
Transfer out of West Virginia, you see Hunter Brown getting some time on the field, and you see a rotation on that front 7. But Brown able to track him down, making some plays in the middle there, tracking out a pretty fast running back in B.J. Kelly.
Option play, late pitch to Kelly, got some running room, and across the 40, out to the 43-yard line. He was hit there by Sammy Webb, the 4th, who lost his helmet, and he'll have to come out for a play.
That little speed option play worked to the left. They've run it to the right, and you'll see he's trying to force the defensive end, number 90, right there to make a decision. And he got that decision really late, but in just enough time to flip it out there to B.J. Kelly to get upfield and get some yards, and setting up a very makeable 3rd and 3.
Very important 3rd down and 3 for this HBU offense. They need to stay on the field a little bit. Kelly is the back. He's got the handoff, and he is gobbled up. Racing across the line of scrimmage, Torian Williams was first there in the backfield. Held that to basically no gain. It's going to be 4th and 3 in a punting situation.
Again, Sam's defensive line stout. Doesn't matter if they've got their front 4 in or they've got replacements in. Those guys up front, and Torian Williams just ate up the blocking inside, not giving B.J. Kelly any room to run at all.
Casey Keeler told me, he said, I've got 10, maybe 12 guys I can run in there on the defensive front. This time a wobbly kick by Guzman. Fair catch called for inside the 20-yard line by Yeti Lewis. Timeout on the field, 4:43 left here in period number 1 at Husky Stadium. And number 2 ranked Sam Houston State with the early lead.
U.S. Pain and Spine are
remarkable. They work with you, and the staff is wonderful. Smiles on the face. When you go in when you're in pain, that helps. The quality of life since coming here is great. We live near a pond, and I like to feed the ducks. If I hadn't been going to get help with the doctors and the staff, I would not have been able to do something I really look forward to do every day.
U.S. Pain and Spine Institute. We make life better.
Hey, Mike.
Can you guys hear me? I heard you call for me. I tried to talk back.
.43 left to play here in the opening quarter. Sam Houston State with a 14-0 lead over Sam Houston State. And the Huskies defense has been on point tonight. Or check that, the Bearcats defense has been on point. For Sam Houston State, they've already rolled up 165 yards in the first quarter. For HBU, 8.
The game is being played at just a faster rate of speed, Tom, than last week against Abilene Christian and last week against TSU. That's what Sam is demanding out of HBU, and the offense has to respond to that faster rate of speed. You saw it on the speed option with Dawson and with Peters and Kelly, but everybody else has got to pick it up, especially the offensive line.
From the 18-yard line, the Bearcats scrimmage. Javin Webb stays in the backfield as the running back. Briscoe will fake to him and throw over the middle. And it's caught by the big tight end, Colin Rison. That's very close to first down yardage. He'll be about a yard shy at the 27. Quickly at the line of scrimmage are the Bearcats. Briscoe throwing it on the outside. Davion Davis will have the first down across the 30 and out near the 35-yard line. Bumped out of bounds there by Chris Hardiman.
Looked like that was a little bit of a run-pass option where Briscoe has the opportunity to give the ball to Webb. They got a run play called, or if you're in off coverage, he'll just take the 5 yards out there to Davis, and that's what he took on that play.
New set of downs, blitz coming. Play fake to Webb. Briscoe still got it. And now he's going to scramble this way, and he's got some turf to midfield, and he'll step out of bounds at the 44-yard line in HBU territory. I tell you what, HBU's defense thought they had the intended guy twice making tackles.
Watch Garrett Dolan tackle Webb, 24 right there. He thought Webb had the ball, and look at the room for Briscoe. He had all day back there. Great coverage by the HBU secondary, but that left Briscoe, once he escaped the pocket, with a lot of room to run.
24 yards for Briscoe on the scramble, and now Webb does have the ball. And finally, Dolan will make the tackle with some help from Thompson, but not before he picks up a dozen and another 1st and 10.
This is an excellent block inside. You'll see Tyler Hilaire, number 96 for HBU, get knocked inside, and that was what created the seam inside for Sam. They're so fast we can't even show you replays.
1st and 10 from the Husky 31. Play fake. Sneaking out is the tight end, Ryson. He got the ball, and he got hammered by G, but he picks up 14 yards in a 1st and 10.
So great play. I love this play. I used to run this play with my running back out of the backfield, where you fake the run and you send your tight end or running back up the sideline, a little wheel route, left it wide open. Didn't count for him to pass the game, and I got another 1st down for Sam.
1st and 10 now for the 17. Webb up the middle, broke a 1st tackle, and finally Dolan brings him down, but not before he picks up 4 more yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6. 3 minutes to go, opening quarter.
You can see the HBU defenders, G and Manderville and Bowling, everybody a little slow getting back up and getting set. That tempo is really wearing them down at this point.
Webb again off the right side, broke a tackle, ran over Thompson in the end zone for a touchdown. He just bowled over Taylor Thompson on his way to the end zone, his 2nd touchdown of the night for Javin Webb, and it's 20-0 Bearcats.
I played that safety position often, and I used to say I didn't ever want to be embarrassed by a guy that would shake me. I always hated those guys. But maybe the most embarrassing thing for a safety is to have a running back just plant you as he goes on into the end zone. And Javin Webb did that right there for the 3rd touchdown of the 1st quarter for the Sam Houston Bearcats.
Luke Swimberger to try another point after. Ball back and down. This one's up on the way and good. Swimberger on the season, now 12 for 12 in PATs. Watch the touchdown.
See Webb find a seam, good blocking, and then that's a strong, but he doesn't look that big. Even from up here, Webb doesn't look that big, but he is a compact 5'10", 195, and he is running not only, and that wasn't just Thompson, he has run through arm tackles, he has run over safeties, he is dynamic, and Tom, we're not even seeing Corey Avery, the all Southland Conference running back for Sam Houston State. We're seeing Webb, his complimentary backup tonight, and that guy looks like he could play for any team in the Southland Conference.
Casey Keeler said his team has played well in the first 2 games, but they've left plays on the field. They're not leaving too much on the field here in the 1st quarter tonight.
HBU had a couple of 3-and-outs on defense early, but they've gotten cranked up, and now have a 21-0 lead as we near 2:42. We have 2:42 left in the 1st quarter.
This will be David Racine from the 3-yard line, coming back toward the center of the field, and he'll be brought down at the 8-yard line. Special teams tackle there by Justin Gill.
Excellent hustle down there. Special teams cover units for Sam. Couple mistakes early on, a block in the back. That last punt return HBU had, where the big block by HBU. Well, their kick cover teams are getting after it. Last one was kicked out of bounds. This one, Racine trying to get back to his sideline, and probably should have just taken what he could get up the field.
Usually when you're pinned that close to the sideline, you are better off going in the straight line rather than running the diagonals or the horizontals.
Hey, which one of us taught geometry here, you know? Point A to point B, straight line.
Running play, B.J. Kelly, and there's a flag down as he fights for maybe a couple yards to the 10-yard line. Tackled there by Stokes.
Looks like the umpire is signaling it's a chop block that's going to be called on HBU.
But with it being only a yard, maybe a yard and a half gain, you even
Personal
want the
foul,
penalty.
block, number 75. Enforce half the distance to the goal.
It's Kyle Tomasi, the center. So obviously the guard had made the engagement with the defensive lineman, and then he comes in low, and you cannot do that.
Cannot go high-low. I think the ref was trying to say something. Mike was cutting out there, but you cannot go high-low on a player, and that's exactly what happened there with guard center on the inside for HBU. Whenever that umpire is throwing that flag, that is not a good thing for the offensive line, because that is holding or it is chop block. And that was chop block.
72, C.J. Barner was the guard who had made the initial contact. Running play, B.J. Kelly tripped up as he tried to fight for a hole. And again, Hunter Brown. Brown seeing a lot of action at the middle linebacker spot. Sophomore out of Weston, Florida. The usual starting middle linebacker, Collins Okacha, has a leg injury that's kept him out of the last couple of ball games.
Hunter Brown's jersey is relatively clean. I think that's been the biggest factor. HBU's offensive line is struggling to block those front four, so Brown is running to the ball with nobody in his face.
Throwing a one-handed catch by Mev Axton across the 20-yard line. Oh my goodness, there's a highlight for you.
Glue sticks on that man. Again, Tom, throw the ball to the fullback. If Tony makes a little bit better throw here, Ashton's running for a while. He had all kinds of room down the sideline. But at this point, you got to just take what you can get. You get the first down. You get a new set of downs. Excellent execution, and tit for tat there. Sam ran the same play on the other side the last drive.
They fake the jet sweep, give it to Kelly, and Kelly is spilled for a loss back at the 20-yard line. And again, the penetration by HBU's defense is just outstanding. That's Mufa Debo, who missed all of last year with an ACL injury suffered early in fall practice. He missed the entire year, but because he's had an entire year to get back, he's just about 100%.
Well, you got Mufa on one side, you got Hall on the other, and then when you go to third downs, you can bump both of them inside if you wanted to. As the season wears on, we're always seeing that with Hall on passing downs.
2nd and a dozen. Tony Dawson throws, and he has Ricardo Barnett. Barnett trying to struggle to get away from Carlos Teal. Slammed the ball to the turf at the 27. That's when it came out. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Huskies. We got a half a minute to play here in the first quarter.
You see on one side with HBU the receivers, Lewis 6'6", Barnett 6'5". And you flip it over, you see Sam Houston State, they have no receiver bigger than 5'11". But different offensive styles. For HBU, it's worked. We've seen Barnett, we've seen Lewis both make plays, especially against smaller corners the last few weeks. And Barnett got that one right there because he's 6'5", going against number 31 there. Carlos Teal is only 5'11".
And the clock is going to run down. And I tell you what, we've had a ton of plays run here in this first quarter. And it's only the first quarter. Sam Houston State 21 and the Houston Baptist Huskies nothing. We will come back to Husky Stadium in Houston after this timeout.
The Southland Conference.
4,200 student athletes from across the country
and around the world, representing 13 member institutions
from Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana,
excelling in 17 NCAA Division I sports.
In the classroom and in our communities.
We are Southland Strong.
So the defense has been on 12.
Today's game being brought to you by Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. By Abraham Watkins, Nichols, Sorrells, Augusto, and Friend. With more than 65 years of experience, Abraham Watkins, the oldest personal injury law firm in Texas. By Roadrunner Moving and Storage. Call 713-417-9593 for all your storage and moving needs. And by BigPlayTracker.com. And the Big Play Tracker at the end of one shows Sam Houston on top 18-2. Let's bring in Michael Knapp, who's in control of the Big Play Tracker. Tell us what you've seen, Michael.
Well, Tom, John, HBU has done their best to throw a couple of big play points on the board in the form of their defense, getting a couple of 3-and-outs, but we know they've been on the field twice as long as their counterpart defense. Too much firepower by Sam Houston on offense.
The Big Play Tracker is something you folks at home can follow along the way and see how the inner workings of the game of football, how each division of the team's offense, defense, and special teams figure into the successes that show up on the scoreboard. Just go to BigPlayTracker.com and you can follow along with live scoring along the way. On a third down pass attempt, Dawson was looking for Wesley Lewis. It was broken up. Another punting situation for the Huskies, and Sam Houston's going to get the ball again.
Excellent play there by number 23, Sammy Webb, the fourth. Jumping that slant route, jumping the short route, and making a play on the ball. Excellent job there by a corner, making a play on the ball.
Derek Dick is back to receive this kick. High, towering kick. Dick will take it at his own 24. Eludes the first man, eludes the second man. Still on his feet, and finally they wrestle him down at the 30-yard line.
Wow, it doesn't matter if you got Lewis back there or you've got Derek Dick. It doesn't matter. One of those guys is going to make somebody miss.
55-yard punt this time by Guzman. He is really putting the foot into the football tonight.
Yeah, I thought kicking into this direction, he'd be kicking into the wind. But if you look at the flag sticks, their flag's completely dead right now. So he's hit a few rockets tonight. Both punters have done a pretty solid job punting the football, but Guzman hit some serious bombs.
So once again, Jeremiah Briscoe brings the Bearcat offense on the field. They lead by 3 scores as we start the second quarter. And this is Remus Bulmer in the backfield. Fake it to him, throw it to Yeti Lewis. He eludes one man and spins his way out to the 38-yard line. The first guy who had a chance at him for Sam Houston was Dwight Tucker.
Nice run pass option there by Sam. Linebacker bit on the run. Briscoe just makes a little pitchy catch there to Lewis. A little 7-yard gain.
Again, a back. There are 2 receivers to either side. Fake it to Bulmer over the middle. Again, looking for Lewis. Trying to fit it into a real skinny window there. And once again, making the coverage there was Dwight Tucker. Interesting matchup that Tucker is on Lewis.
Yeah, absolutely. In the slot there. I don't know who's the best matchup for Lewis. Might just throw a bunch of bodies out there and hopefully you'll end up stopping him at some point. It's a big play for HBU defense trying to get off the field here on 3rd and 3.
Remus Bulmer stays as the running back.
Tom, I love the fact that Doran Turner is able to come back for this game, number 20. You see him at the top of the screen, about to rush.
Here he comes from the outside. Briscoe throws over the middle, caught! This is Stokes, ball comes out! Loose ball picked up by Sam Houston. This is the Travion G back the other way. He fumbled the football, and it's scooped up by Davion Davis. That's unbelievable.
Okay, so how do we do that on Big Play Tracker?
Yeah,
is that like 3 big plays all in one? Does that throw off all of our analytics for that?
The end result of that is not less than a gain of 20 yards, no big play.
Great play by Holmes, stripping it out.
On the field, it's an interception, and then a fumble recovered by the offense. It will be 1st and 10.
Wasn't an interception. It was a reception and a fumble on the return. And finally, Davion Davis has the ball just near midfield, and it stays with Sam Houston.
Let's give some credit to the center for Sam Houston, Bridge Blunt, number 52, with maybe one of the best form tackles we've seen tonight on the Travion G, and his helmet knocked the ball out, and Sam able to get back on it.
Back-to-back fumbles on the same play. You don't see that very often. Fake it to Bulmer, swing it outside. And again, they've got Stokes with running room down the sideline, and he got hammered by Torian Turner. Let's talk about Turner here real quick while we've got a moment.
Last week, down on the field for about 10 to 12 minutes, carted off, taped down to a stretcher, and he was able to make it back tonight. You'll see him pop into the picture right here at the end, making a tackle right there on Scott. But just the fact he's back on the field after that moment was incredible.
Remus Bulmer around the left side. Holmes trying to bulldog him down, almost a horse collar tackle. They finally bring him down, and they're going to mark him inside the 10-yard line at the 8 for a gain of 18.
And here's Sam getting back up to the line of scrimmage. They smell blood in the water, and they're going after it, trying to put another touchdown on the board. Bulmer, Webb, these guys are on the football with some emphasis tonight.
Fake to Bulmer, throw over the middle, wide open, touchdown. Caught there by number 81, and that is Nathan Stewart for his first touchdown of the season.
And Tom, if your front guys aren't stopping the run, I don't know how you stop this. You fake zone read, you get linebackers and D-line just sucked into the run, and then you run slant behind it. Briscoe pulls it out, zips in there for a touchdown to Stewart. That's how that play is supposed to run it to a T. I don't know how you stop that on defense.
And a busy man has been Luke Swimberanga. Extra point try is good. He is 4 for 4 on the night. Sam Houston's lead is 28-0 with 13:06 to go in the first half.
You'll see the run fake, and there the linebackers all sucked up inside. Outside linebackers getting ready to play contain, so they've got to move out of that area. And then Stewart runs the slant right in behind Briscoe. As I mentioned earlier in the show, Briscoe is in complete total command. The game seems to be real slow for him. He just is out there walking the park. This game is easy. And he's just making his reads, seeing it, and letting it go. The one thing that really has sort of failed him has been his accuracy up until this drive.
Let's take a look at the FCF standings from Stats. North Dakota State, the unanimous #1 choice. They actually were 27th in the FBS poll this week. That's how many votes they got after their win over Iowa. Sam Houston right behind at #2, then Jacksonville State, who those two teams met in the semifinals last year, Eastern Washington, and so on down the line. Kickoff by Swimberanga will be taken by Barnett. 3 yards deep in the end zone, he'll go to a knee.
I think North Dakota State got jobbed. They should have been hired in 27. In FBS. In FBS. There are a lot of these teams. Look, this Sam team, Eastern Washington beat Washington State, Richmond beat Virginia. There are some
The gap
excellent.
is closing.
Absolutely. And Tom, I think there are times where the gap isn't really even there. I don't think it's there. I mean, this Sam team, you just watch what they're able to do. You look at the athletes. Hey, P.J. Hall can play for anybody in FBS football. Anybody. I don't care where you are. He can play for you. He might not be the prototypical 3 technique or defensive end, but he can play for somebody in FBS football.
Tony Dawson, pump fake left, coming out to his right, throws, caught! Isaiah Hall makes the catch across the 40 at about the 41-yard line.
Tony Dawson on the roll, had a route in front, just flooding this sideline. He went to the second guy, the second level. Excellent throw, excellent catch.
Running play, and it's Peters. And he'll pick up 5 or 6 before he'll be wrestled down by Alfonso McMillian. Here's the catch again.
Here's a great catch by Isaiah Hall, but look at this throw by Tony Dawson. On the run, great catch, perfect spot. If he puts that a little bit too far to the inside, McMillan takes it to the house the other way.
2nd and 5, bootlegging out is Dawson. He's going to tuck and run with a blocker. Got to the 40. Oh, and took a shot at the 35-yard line, but gets right back up again. Teal and Contreras double-teamed him at the 35, but seemed to have no effect on the Husky quarterback.
Excellent job there by Tony Dawson, this time going to his left. He's going to the field where he's got a lot of room to run. And Casey Keeler is taking a timeout to slow it down.
Interesting that he wants to slow Sam Houston down, because when he gets the ball on offense, he really puts the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, he's go, go, go. In fact, after one period of play, Sam ran 27 plays, which, I'll do the math for you, that's 108 plays in a game. That's not fair.
12:21 to go. Sam Houston on top, but the Huskies are driving.
Seven ingredients for better gas mileage. Wonder what they are.
Corrosion inhibitor.
Solvent fluid.
Demulsifier.
Fuel detergent number 1.
Fuel detergent number 2.
Anti-adhesion compound.
And marker molecules.
Wow. I did not know that.
With 7 key ingredients, new Synergy gasoline is engineered to help give you better gas mileage. Exxon and Mobil. Energy lives here.
Houston Baptist on the march, have it 1st and 10 at Sam Houston State's 35-yard line as we get ready for action here with 12:21 left in the half. Elsewhere around the Southland Conference, everything tonight. In the third quarter, McNeese leading Incarnate Word by 3 touchdowns. Southeast Louisiana over Northwestern State in the third. And then 3 other games at halftime. Close game between Central Arkansas and Arkansas State. Close one between Nichols and South Alabama. And Abilene Christian and Stephen F. Austin, the Lumberjacks on top by 3 scores there. And the big battle of the Piney Woods is next Saturday at Energy Stadium in Houston between the Sam Houston State Bearcats and the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks.
Right underneath my office, Tom. It's kind of nice. We're going to work and watch football.
He's going to peer down. Here's Dawson on 1st down, scrambles away and now finds some daylight. To the 20, cuts inside 10. And he'll be tripped up there at about the 9-yard line. Finally taken off his feet by Contreras.
Excellent job by Tony Dawson. You'll see the replay here. Gets some pressure, turned it back inside, and then he turned on the Jets. Tony Dawson playing the game at that rate of speed we're talking about. He has upped this play, this drive, and HBU's put him on the move. Now that one, he wasn't rolling left or right, but he saw some room, took off, and that ends up being 3 straight big plays for Tony Dawson in this offense.
After having no big plays in the ball game, HBU's put together 3 big plays on the big play tracker. Here's a running play. Terrence Peters fighting for yardage and finally gets down to the 3-yard line.
That's the way you run hard inside. Terrence Peters refusing to go down. P.J. Hall hanging on top of him, and Peters just kept pushing for the goal line. He came up a few yards short, but excellent inside run by Terrence Peters where there was nothing there earlier. Now they're starting to get a little something inside. Nice job there by the offensive line to make some area for Peters to run.
Peters is the back. He's got the handoff trying to get outside, and he'll get to the 1-yard line. He'll be wrapped up there. Coming up off the pile, number 26, Tyrell Stokes was the guy who hit him first before help came.
Watch Peters bounce this outside. Looked like he had room there, but a nice job there by Stokes to wrap him up and slows momentum and let some other Bearcats help him out at the 1-yard line. Captain Obvious is about to show up, Tom.
You think?
HBU's got to score.
Yeah. And I don't think they're going to settle for a field goal here.
No. That's why they call me Captain Obvious.
3rd down and a little more than 1. Dawson rolling right. And he'll be forced out of bounds by Hunter Brown back around the 5-yard line. Now maybe they will kick the field goal.
Situational football. Tony's got to do a better job here of knowing the situation. You're at the 1-yard line. If it's not there, throw it away. Throw it away.
Yes.
It's not there. You're outside. Throw the ball away.
Even there at the last minute before you went
just
out of bounds.
Flip it out of
just
bounds.
Throw it over the end zone.
It's 4th and goal at the 1. You got a shot to go for 7, and now you got to settle for 3.
Alec Chadwick to try and get the Huskies on the board. David Duncan puts it down, and Chadwick's kick is up and through the upright. So Sam Houston finally breaks through with 10:07 to play here in the first half. It's now a 28-3 ball game. Nice drive by the Huskies, but oh, you wish they could have finished that off.
You definitely want the big points there. There's no question. But this is where situational football, and look, I know we're talking about college kids, but understanding time and situation and knowing you need 7 points there, flip it out of bounds. That's all you got to do. But when you take the 4-yard loss, you're forcing your coach to go ahead and kick the field goal right there. Just throw it out. And look, I know that's a lot more difficult. I remember Eli Manning against the Cowboys one year. I think it was at 15. He threw a pass to stop the clock. We had no business throwing it. All he had to do was take a knee, and the clock might have run out. Gave the ball back to the Cowboys. They drove all the way back in. So it happens at every level of football, but you have to be cognizant of the situation. If you're that deep in the backfield, just flip it out of there. Play's dead. The journey's over. Don't destroy it. Don't blow it all up. And unfortunately, in that case, you sort of did that. Points up on the board are good, and a good drive. But you could have had 7, or at least had the opportunity to go for 7.
Chadwick to kick it off. And a look on the sideline there at Garrett Dolan. Chadwick's kick a yard deep in the end zone. And will be brought out across the 20. And out of bounds near the 30-yard line is Jalen Harris. Nice return there to the 29-yard line. And that's where the Bearcats will go back on the attack. For Jeremiah Briscoe, now 12 of 22 for 232 yards. And this offense has gotten cranked up. Early on, HBU, a couple of three and outs after the initial Sam drive. And you thought, okay, defensively, maybe they're making some strides. And then Sam put it in the left lane and went about 95. And it's been tough sledding ever since. But we've seen them make some plays defensively. They forced a fumble, but then they fumbled it right back. So they got to take advantage of mistakes when Sam makes them. That's the only way to get even close back in this game. Briscoe throws in the flat, caught, and then broken up. It was Tyler Scott who had the reception, and it was Nicholas Smith who took it away.
What I love about this is Smith was off in coverage, and he didn't run to where the receiver was. He ran to where he was going to. Great geometry, if you will, of getting to where the ball was going, and therefore Smith was able to head him right off at the pass and make that pass breakup. Excellent job, Nicholas Smith.
Swinging out of the backfield. And coming to the near sideline, breaking the tackle and getting close to first down yardage is the 4th back that they have, and that is Jordan Brown. Let's go to Jeff Power on the sideline.
Well, you saw Yeti Lewis make a good block right there, number 9 for Sam Houston State. He's actually 6th in career receiving here at Sam Houston State with 2,000 yards receiving. He's from New Orleans, played at Faulkner High School in Dallas, and he was a walk-on as a freshman, doing all this as a walk-on. Imagine that. Back upstairs.
Well, he is in 6 plays all time in receiving yards and about to become 5th. Penalty marker comes in, going to get a false start against the Bearcats.
Start offense.
Second penalty against Sam Houston State. Also just 2 penalties against HBU. So now instead of 3rd and 1, it's going to be 3rd down and 6. Back at the 33.
Sam will get HBU spread out. You'll see HBU with 3rd and 6. They get into that muddle huddle linebacker package where they're moving all over the place. No defensive lineman on the field. Won't be surprised here if Sam tries to run against this look on 3rd and 6.
Send Brown out of the backfield. Briscoe throws under pressure, broken up. They were looking for Grant Finney. Broken up by Chris Hardiman, but there might be a marker. Way behind the play.
The head linesman who was closest to it didn't throw a flag, but the side judge, way in the back, happened to see that left hand of Hardiman wrapped around the receiver there, Grant Finney.
Defense, number 21. That was a spot foul, automatic first down.
You'll see Hardiman with that left hand right in the back of Finney. And when Hardiman got up, he looked right at the ref closest to him. He didn't see a flag. He thought he had made the play. But the side judge, 25 yards downfield, happened to see it and threw the flag, gives Sam a first down.
New set of downs from their own 39-yard line for the Bearcats. And Briscoe under pressure, a little shovel pass for Brown, and he's on the run at midfield and more. inside the 40, breaking tackles, and down to about the 32-yard line before Doran Turner finally takes him down.
Just a version of a screen pass right here. Shovel pass, invite defensive linemen upfield. Fight them upfield, there they are, and then you just flip it out to a guy who runs really fast. Jordan Brown has got some quicks, and he's the 4th running back for the Sam Houston offense.
9 yards on that play. Remus Boomer checks in. Lewis goes in motion, swing it to him. Got a block on the corner. Inside the 20. And Latravian G will not let go and bring him down at about the 17-yard line, but that's 15 more yards for the Sam Houston State offense.
Tom, the one thing that stands out with these perimeter players for Sam is how good they block. That was an excellent cut block out there by Colin Risen, who cut down one of the linebackers that gave Lewis even more room than he already needs because of his quickness and explosiveness.
Brown back in, takes the handoff on 1st down, and he'll be ridden down by Andre Walker. Loss of a yard, maybe 2.
True freshman from Slidell. We've seen Andre Walker make a ton of plays the first couple of weeks. He's grown up right in front of our eyes against his Sam defense, but that kid is going to be a whale of a player. Andre Walker, the true freshman from Louisiana.
2nd down and 11. Briscoe throws on the outside for Scott. Cuts inside, still on his feet around the 10. Before he was finally shoved out of bounds by Nicholas Smith.
Vic Shealy, head coach for HBU, is irate, and with good reason. Watch HBU's defender here, and I'm not sure who it is. We'll get a look at it. He is being held right there. Look at the holding on Kyle Bowling, not called. Colin Risen,
yep, the tight end,
grabbed a little bit of jersey. Should have been a holding, and that's why Vic Shealy was irate with that non-call.
On 3rd down, Briscoe trying to swing it outside for Brown, batted down by Terrence Vanderbilt.
Great effort by Vanderbilt. He was cut down originally, popped up, ball's right there. He stuck up his left paw. Watch him get cut down first, and then popped right back up and got his left hand on the football. Excellent job by Terrence Vanderbilt, defensive end for the HBU Huskies.
And Luke Swimberring is going to try his first field goal of the year. This will come from the 18-yard line near hash mark. So a 28-yard attempt. Ball back and down, kick up on the way, and the kick is good. So Sam Houston answers the HBU field goal with one of their own. 7:20 to play here in the first half. 31-3. Sam Houston remains in control of this game.
I'd imagine Luke doesn't get a lot of time on the field. You said that was his first attempt.
First field goal attempt, yes.
First field goal attempt of the year.
Now he has 13 PATs.
to my point, I mean, the field goal kicker is like it's like a hood ornament on a car.
There's the standings here in the Southland Conference in the early going. How about Central Arkansas racing out in the first 3 weeks with a couple of conference wins, including one over this HBU team in the opening night of the season. Sam Houston won their opener last week. Stephen F. Austin is also going to win along with Nichols. The Huskies and Incarnate Word next at 1-1. And then you see 5 other teams looking to get into the win column here.
How about Nichols? They're 1-1. That one in the right column, the loss was a 26-24 loss to Georgia, and they're 24-23 with South Alabama at the half. That's Nichols. We're not those guys in the Southland Conference. Maybe a surprise team this year.
And Swimberring kicks this one away. Barnett runs over and takes it at the goal line. Looks for some daylight and lowers his shoulder, and he'll go down to the 20-yard line.
For HBU out to the 20-yard line. That's where the Huskies will take over at 1st down and 10.
Tom, last series for the offense, Tony Dawson on the move. Roll right, throw right. Roll left, nothing there, take off. Drop back straight, nothing there, go find it. Tony Dawson, that last drive, you can see some of the confidence growing. And they didn't have a lot of plays in the first quarter. In fact, the first quarter they only ran 16 plays and netted only 31 yards. But that little bit of confidence that he's gotten, we'll see how that carries him through the rest of the game. But that last drive was a good one. Need to replicate that here.
I think it shows you that he's not overwhelmed by facing the Sam Houston team. And here's a nice run by Terrence Peters. that'll get close to first down yardage, or he'll be bumped down there.
HBU's run this speed option 3 times, a couple times to the left, once to the right, and they've picked up big gains each time, and it nullifies both Mufadibo and PJ Hall because those guys have to be responsible for the quarterback, and Dawson just flips it out there to his running back and lets him do the work with really no contained player at that point.
2nd down and 2 from the 28. Peters again over the right side. Got through and gets out to the 35-yard line for the 1st and 10. So give credit to guys like Cortez Iwagwu and Eduardo Isugeda on the right side of the offense, giving Peters a little daylight for the 1st and 10.
Give him a little bit of a sliver, and Peters will get skinny and get into that hole as he did right there. And Peters is running hard. A little bit banged up. They're taking a look at him. It looks like they're looking at his eyes. Maybe got something in his eyes or got poked in the eye.
Poked in the eye, I think, is what happened.
And that brings B.J. Kelly into the game. But Peters running hard those last 2 plays to get HBU a key first down.
Now at their own 35-yard line, blitz coming and trying to sneak up with that blitz. From the secondary.
5-yard penalty against
got
the Huskies.
HBU's offensive line to flinch.
First down and 15 from the 30.
I want to say that was Hunter Brown trying to sneak up there and get in the gap.
HBU now behind schedule. Now it's on Tony Dawson to be effective here on first down and put them in a second and manageable situation. You get behind this, when you get behind the sticks like this, got to be effective on this down to get this back into second and manageable.
Running play, and Kelly bounces out to about the 34-yard line. He'll get almost the penalty yardage back. Be 2nd down and 11.
Had Tony Dawson kept that ball to the left side, he had Mev Ajden in front of him, he could have run for a long, long time. Nice run by Kelly on the inside, solid blocking up front, but had Dawson kept that one, he was out the back door and gone.
Johnson steps up to blitz. Dawson under pressure and will go down inside the 30-yard line. Finally converging
inside the 30-yard line
to make the sack. Number 91, Luis Carino. And he had some help there from Mufadibo.
Too much leakage. You see Johnson and Hunter Brown coming on the cross dog. Center had to turn to Johnson. That left a wide open A gap for Brown to come and at least get Dawson on the move, and then Sam Houston State Bearcats all over the place to bring Dawson down for a loss, creating a 3rd and long.
Under pressure again is Dawson. He'll try and run. Nice move. Got to the outside, stretches for the marker. He's going to be real close to the first down, and I think they're going to give it to him across the 45. What a run by Dawson.
What an excellent run here by Tony Dawson, Tom. You're right. He gets pressure early. P.J. Hall's coming. That move right there, the little slip of Johnson on the inside, that was excellent. That's running back like right there by Tony Dawson. He's made a lot of plays with his legs, a couple with his arm, but man, what a move right there on Justin Johnson. It's on linebacker for Sam.
Peters back in the game, has room on the right sideline. Look out! He got bumped out of bounds by the last man who had a chance, and that was Sammy Webb, the 4th.
And we've got a Bearcat down. It looks like it is Mufadibo back here at about the 46-yard line.
For Sam Houston.
Looks like he got his foot caught in the turf right there as Eduardo Escuega was making the block, a good block at that, out on the edge. And that got Peters up the sideline, and we've got a Husky down as well. And that is also Escuega. He got himself up here. He's okay.
Hasageda is up. Big junior out of Humble. 6'4", 295. There you see Mufadibo. 6'1", 235 out of Mansfield, Texas.
Tom, how long have you lived in Houston or in Texas?
A long time.
How many people have you had to explain outside of Houston or outside of Texas how to say humble instead of humble? More than
enough.
most?
Enough. But, yeah.
My roommate in college was from Humble. And whenever we would look in the program at Brown University, you saw, oh, you went to Humble High School. No.
No.
Went to Humble.
Yes.
Like, it took them forever to try and figure that out, especially with all the accents in the Northeast. That just blew their minds.
Humble was the oil company back in the day that became Exxon. Humble is the city
there you go.
north of Houston.
That's what we tried to explain to them. They didn't get it.
From the 28-yard line, 1st and 10. Fake it to Peters, over the middle, complete to Wesley Lewis inside the 15-yard line.
Again, what Sam did, HBU can do. Same thing. Ride the zone in there, ride Peters in, bring the linebackers up to the line of scrimmage, run the slant behind it. You got all kinds of room. At that point, it's pitch and catch. Great job there by Dawson to Lewis.
Peters bottled up in the hole this time, and he's going to be dragged down. Luis Carino among those right there, big number 91. Snuffing that play out along with 92, P.J. Hall. We don't have to mention that Hall's in on a play. He's in on most of the plays. We just try and give credit to some of the other guys.
You know, there are times, Tom, I'm in the NFL locker room all the time, and there are guys you see in NFL bodies, and you're just in awe of what they look like. P.J. Hall, we just saw a shot of him. From his butt and legs, that looks like an NFL player. I mean, he looks like an NFL player. He is so well built from his trunk down. It's amazing to watch. He's so quick.
81 offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Wesley Lewis in motion on the outside. He saw Hall jump, then he moved.
And Lewis was probably saying, hey, he was in the neutral zone.
That's right.
I moved because he moved.
Yes.
It's a little different when you're a wide receiver. It looks like we got a timeout here.
Houston Baptist, this is their first charge team timeout.
So with a couple of negative plays there.
3 minutes, 3 minutes.
The 2-yard loss on the first down run by Peters, and then the false start. Vic Shealy wants to make sure they get in the end zone this time. So a good timeout call here with exactly 3 minutes to go until halftime at Husky Stadium.
No, I didn't make that purchase. Someone must have my card number. So I can pick up a new debit card right now? Thank you. All right, everyone, follow me.
But Coach, the gym is that way.
Okay, everyone, do some squats.
Come on. This may take a while. Here's your card.
Thank you.
Instant issue debit cards. Security, convenience, together.
Well, that was fast.
Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Where next? The dentist? 3 minutes to go in the first half here at Husky Stadium. Houston Baptist on the march at the Sam Houston State 21. On the sideline is Jeff Power.
Yeah, Tony Dawson, you might have seen the big play last week as he hooked up with Wesley Lewis for the game-winning touchdown against Abilene Christian in overtime. First overtime ever for HBU. Well, that connection just worked again here. We'll see if they go up top in the corner of the end zone. Keep an eye out for it, guys. Back upstairs.
Yeah, right about the same point in the field. 21-yard line, and overtime was the first play from the 25. And you see Lewis flanked out here on the near side at the bottom of the formation. Dawson looking to throw, hit as he throws, ball comes out. Loose ball at about the 29-yard line, and HBU comes away with it. I think Dawson may have gotten it back.
I think he did. I think he came right back into his lap. They were trying to work Barnett. You mentioned it, Tom. They went the other way. They wanted Barnett on the post corner, and he actually was open, working man coverage to the top of the screen against Carlos Teal. Barnett ran the post corner, and he was open
But right as Dawson was about to throw, that man showed up, P.J. Hall, down here on his left side, and that kept Dawson from getting that ball out to Barnett, which would have been a sure touchdown had Barnett held on for the catch.
3rd down and 25 now from the 29-yard line. Going for it all for Lewis. And incomplete. They're going to say incidental contact at the goal line. Excellent coverage there by Sammy Webb, the 4th.
And Vic Shealy ran down the sideline looking for a call, looking for a flag. The side judge didn't even reach for the flag in his pocket. I think you're right, Tom. As you said, incidental contact. I don't know that. Right there, Webb got that right elbow into Lewis to keep him from the field of play, and I think that was what got Coach Shealy upset, was Webb was using that elbow to shield him out of there, and he wanted a 15-yard and what would have been a first down.
First down, more importantly. So now we get a 46-yard field goal try from Alec Chadwick. Has the distance, and it went right down the middle for Chadwick, the sophomore out of Valencia, California.
He hit that with a little room to spare.
31-6. So 46 yards, his longest of the season. He had failed on every other try beyond 40 yards. He had missed from 43, 54, and also missed from 35. But that one was right down Broadway. So 2:13 to go. Do you think Sam Houston's got enough time to put another point on the board or two?
If there's a digit on that clock, Sam's got time. I don't care where they are. This offense is 2:13. It's the eternity. They might have 2 drives in them at this particular moment. But again, I go back to Briscoe and how he runs this offense. There is no panic. And it doesn't matter whether there's 12-13 left or 2:13 left or just 0-13 left.
Yeah.
He's in command of what's going on, and I think his calm permeates through that whole offense. But the offensive line does a really nice job for Sam getting back to the line of scrimmage to run the next play. They're excellent. They're one of the best I've seen in FBS or FCS. That offensive line is there at the line ready to run the very next play. That helps them in situations like this.
Good news for HBU's defense is that scoring drive took 5 minutes off the clock. And the ball reeled in. Down the sideline and headed for pay dirt, but run out of bounds at the last minute by Nicholas Smith is Jalen Harris. Took that at the 4-yard line, and boy, did he go.
Must stay in your lane. When you're covering kicks, you'll see right there, number 46, out of his lane. And that was right where Harris ran. Sometimes when you watch a kickoff return, you think, oh, what happened, what happened? It takes one guy to not be in his lane, his responsibility, just to get bumped just a little bit, and that could open up a wide open seam as it did right there for Jalen Harris.
So Briscoe will have Bulmer to his right shoulder. Shuttle pass to him, hit in the backfield, broke through the tackle of Vincent, still on the feet, flag is down, they drag him down back at the 35-yard line. Manderville finally got him down. Bulmer did a lot of running, and there's a marker back here at the line of scrimmage.
I think we're going to get a holding out here. But Tom, one thing that we've seen with this HBU defense in the last 3 weeks, they get as many guys to the football. They are pursuing the football. They might get beat on some blocks. They might get roughed up front by this Sam offensive line. But these guys are running, sprinting to the football. They pursue very, very well. And you saw that paid off there with Terrence Vanderbilt's tackle for a loss.
The discussion rages at the 35-yard line. Ross Smith and his crew.
With targeting, the previous play is under review. Number 2.
Wow. That is wide receiver Tyler Scott. Guilty of targeting here in the blocking situation. Let's see what we can find here. He ran into Holmes, the linebacker. I don't think that's going to be ruled a target. I think he got more shoulder than he got headgear.
I think Tyler Scott took the brunt of that hit, to be honest with you.
I don't know if I would call that targeting. Tyrone Holmes did an excellent job. Taylor Holmes, excuse me, playing off that block. I don't know that Scott deserves to be thrown out of the game for what is targeting. So we're going to turn it over to our review guys.
Here's one more look, different angle. Watch it coming up on the left of your screen. Ooh, well, he did.
Now he launches.
The crown of his helmet got him right at the chin. So
that's
from that angle, that could be a targeting call.
By definition, you're right. By definition, that's targeting. But I don't think I've ever seen the targeter end up on his wallet.
Yeah.
Like Scott just did right there. I mean, you got to give the little guys a break. I mean, Scott's 165, Holmes is 220. Now, that doesn't give you the right to go up high at somebody's helmet above the shoulder pads. But I think you're right, Tom. I don't think this is going to change. I think he's going to end up being called with the targeting.
See, the first look, I thought, no.
Right.
But that look was much clearer. And if our replay officials, and let's see if we got here. Our replay official is Mark Ashley, and the communicator is Don Mosca. They've got Ross Smith on the headset. And they'll take a look at it. That second view was definitely a targeting look. Let's see if we get a different one here.
Well, you can see the crown of his helmet go right into the face mask of Taylor Holmes. Now, here's the other thing. Holmes is 6'2", and Scott is 5'9". So to hit Holmes in the helmet, that means Scott had to launch. We're going to get the call right here.
After further review.
Oh, no. His microphone dropped
He's
out.
trying to tell us.
Try again.
There is no foul. There is no foul for targeting. The forcible contact is to the shoulder area. The result of the play is second down.
All right, so they did wave it off.
I got to admit, Tom, I'm glad. I'm glad that one was overturned, because if Tyler Scott had gotten ejected for targeting on that and got knocked on his wallet the way that he did, I mean, that would be a little bit unfair. But let's get to the heart of the matter, and that was HBU stopping that screen
for a loss of 10.
For a loss of 10, which now is really pushing field goal range, although Sam does have a lot of time left.
Trying to sweep the near side. Brown wide open inside the 20. And G runs him out of bounds and around the 17-yard line. I tell you what, is this young man quick or what?
They have got some running backs. And just to see a little outside zone, contained was gone. And you get up the sideline where there's no contained there, and you got that speed. Pretty easy at that point.
They go from 2nd and 20 to 3rd and 2. Amazing what this offense can do. Low snap gets away from Briscoe. He has to dive on it at the 31-yard line. That was a poor snap by Bridge Blunt. And a loss of 14 yards will set up a long field goal try. Whoops.
Just a little bit of a worm burner back there. Blunt never got the ball up to him. He was starting his zone block to the left. And as he did that, he snapped it not even 6 inches off the ground. Briscoe unable to handle it, had to fall on it. And now, 4th and 16. And it looks like we're going to get a field goal attempt here. But I believe this will be about
48 yards.
48 yards. It's only his 2nd attempt of the year, though.
However, in the past, and Luke has been around this program now, a senior out of Natchitoches, Louisiana, and Casey Keeler in the past has said he's got great confidence in Swinberga inside of 50 yards. Now this is close to 50 yards, but it's inside of 50 yards.
He must get bored over there until it gets time to kick extra points. He's getting some action tonight, which speaks to HBU's defense doing a pretty solid job. Got to get a break. Got one right there with the bad snap, setting up this field goal attempt.
From the near hash mark. Figgenshaw, the punter, is the holder. Good snap and hold. Kick is on the way. Wide to the right. Had the distance. But HBU dodges a bullet with 1:08 to go here in the first half.
Now HBU is going to get pretty good field position out of this. Not the field position you would get in the NFL, but still pretty good field position. Got one timeout and 1:08 left. I know you see him push it just to the right. Never got that hook back to the middle, sort of like Tom's 9-iron does. Play a little fade back to the left.
He got out in front of it just a little bit.
A little bit.
So he didn't get that.
You didn't get the good divot on it?
No.
Yeah, see, I had learned a long time ago, just put the golf clubs in the closet and leave them there. That's the best golf game you can have, Tom. Just leave them in the closet.
Well, I'm having
Watch
more fun
else.
now where you have the clown's mouth and the windmill.
Oh, there you go.
Those are good, So on first down, Dawson quickly to the outside for Lewis, who falls to the turf and makes the catch. Just a short gain of 2 or 3 yards on the play. Clock continues to move as we're under a minute to play here.
Be great for the confidence HBU to go down and get some sort of points out of this. Need to get more on that first down play.
Have 1 timeout remaining. Over the middle and behind his intended receiver, Brandon Taylor, at the 46-yard line. He beat the safeties, McMillan and Contreras, but the ball was behind him.
If he puts that ball on the mark, he gives Taylor some room to run after the catch. He probably takes it on the other side of midfield. Maybe you take your timeout at that point. Now you got to just get first down, because you don't get first down here, you're punting it right back to Sam with a timeout and some time on the clock.
3rd down and 7. 4-man rush, now delayed blitz up the middle, ball underthrown, looking for Hall over the middle. That late blitz got to Dawson. It's going to be 3 and out, 42 seconds, and because of the incomplete pass, it saves Sam Houston their timeout.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're going to get them the ball. Now here's the thing, Derek Dick is back. They've had about 3 different punt returners tonight, and each one has produced a pretty good return. He produces a solid return. They can pick up 20, 25 yards in a chunk. They can get this thing not only in field goal range, but maybe in touchdown range too.
Flags down. Might be another false start here against HBU. It is. So walking back to the 28, and that again will just try and work on the field position for the Bearcats. Move the clock back to 46 seconds at the 29-yard line.
Sam Houston State's got something interesting going on. You see Reagan Henderson move out, and now he's looking for the gunner on that side as Sam tries to set up the wall over on that side. But they're not going to be able to do it because Nicholas Smith just beat it. Excellent play by Nicholas Smith right there.
Well, if you're going to take over, I'll just leave now for halftime. I'll go stay in line for the hot dog. You're going to take over here. It's all right.
I've never seen that before. He popped out of there. He's looking to help the gunner.
Yep. 31 seconds to go until halftime. 1 timeout remaining for the Bearcats.
I learned my lesson, Tom. I need to stay in my lane. I'm sorry. I gotta stay in my lane. It's like I'm driving all over the place. I'm texting and tweeting at the same time.
Oh, so you're the guy.
I don't need to be doing that. I need my play-by-play partner.
So let's see what Jeremiah Briscoe will cook up here. 3-man front for the Huskies. 8 in coverage. Swing it out for Brown. To the sideline, near the first down marker. Be run out by Smith and Dolan after a pickup of 8.
Whereas HBU started the drive, a 3-yard gain inbounds, ran the clock. Sam starts it perfectly, a 9-yard gain, and Brown gets out of bounds. They're going to start that any better.
2nd and short, Briscoe to throw. Waits until the last minute throws and caught, tackled immediately by Dolan is Grant Finney. Clock continues to roll. Going to be 3rd down, and maybe that's going to be it. Casey Keeler said, yeah, we'll just let it go out here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Enough is enough. But an action-packed first half, to say the least, as Sam Houston State has rolled out to a 31-6 lead over the HBU Huskies here at the half. We'll see if Jeff Power can catch up with HBU head coach Vic Shealy here on the sidelines. And I think Jeff is ready, so take it away, sir.
Vic Shealy joining us now. The tempo that Sam Houston State's running, being able to just get the ball off in quick snaps, it seems to be tough to stop. What's your general thoughts about how to stop that in the second half?
Oh yeah, this is something that they've done a really great job now for several years, and it just makes you have to be able to get lined up and play quick. You got to be able to tackle in space. We're trying to mix up a lot of pressure, trying to mix up the call, but they got a really, really fine quarterback and great skilled kids. We got to keep on playing.
Tony Dawson's looked good here in the first half. Elusive, guys open downfield. The passing game working, not so much on the running side. but in a game like this, passing is probably the only way to get back in.
Yeah, you know, we ran the ball better there late in the second quarter, so hopefully we can build on that. But got to be a little better in pass protection, give them some more time because, you know, we got some guys open. We got to get the ball off.
Big Chili, you're lucky in the second half. 31-6 right now. HBU trailing Sam Houston State. Back upstairs, guys.
All right, Jeff, thanks very much. So an entertaining first half, but the number 2 team in the FCF standings this week right behind North Dakota State, showing you why they're near the top of the heap with a big first half lead. Stay tuned. Halftime activities from Husky Stadium are coming your way next. You're watching Southland Conference football on Fox College Sports.
Quick question for you. Hey, Steve Maniaci's on his way down, but it's going to be a couple minutes. Can you guys take it back upstairs and buy me a little bit of time? All right, I see him. I think we'll be okay. We'll be all right. Yeah, I see him. Maybe give me a wide shot and I can talk.
At the 38-yard line, this will be a 48-yard field goal for the prize.
Okay, I see him.
Courtesy of Houston Federal Credit Union.
Okay. Steve Maniaci, 1C, Moniaci, Athletic Director, HBU. There he is.
Good evening.
Good to see you, man.
I'm all right. What are you saying?
And it's 31-6. Sam Houston State leading HBU here at Husky Stadium here on the campus of HBU. And joining me now, HBU Athletic Director Steve Maniaci. And first of all, Steve, a lot of firsts around here. Coming into this game, HBU had won back-to-back games, first time in the 3-year history, we should call it. And coming off that overtime victory, there was a really good feeling on campus.
Oh, there was. It's so much a huge difference when you win a football game, how the feel on the campus is. And this week was a fun week.
The excitement level, not only with the touchdown grab by Wesley Lewis in the corner of the end zone with the crowd pumped up, ready to go, beating Abilene Christian, but staying on campus is going to be the theme. With you've got retail stores coming here in the near future. That is good for students.
Oh, absolutely. It's such an exciting time to be here. We just announced this week that we'll have the largest attendance ever this year, both undergraduate and graduate and both combined. So everything is going really well. And as you referenced, the shopping center over on the freeway is coming online and should be online within the next 4 or 5 months. And so it's just a really exciting time to be around here. Now, if we can just see if we can't win another football game, it'll be great.
Hey, there's been some good hires here, too. Charlie Camp coaching the defensive side, calling the plays on the defensive side. Great hire there. Also, Brandon North, second-year guys, both of them. But you can see an impact on the defensive side and what they've been able to do along with Coach Henshaw.
Right, well, absolutely. I mean, also you got to realize that the team's starting to mature a little bit, and that helps, too. This is the first time that we're playing with more upperclass than we were underclassmen, so that makes a huge difference. But you're right. Those two coaching hires have totally transformed our defense.
There's been a lot of success on campus. The soccer team here for the girls winning the Southland Conference tournament here a couple years ago. Volleyball's had some success. There's a lot of different sports where HBU has done well here in the conference.
Well, right, and of course basketball, men's basketball finished third last year in the conference and probably gave SFA the toughest run they had all year here when we played here. And then women's basketball with their success 2 years ago in the conference tournament. So the other sports here have all held their own well in the Southland Conference. You know, we've got to get this football team to the place where we're competitive with these guys across the field.
For folks that don't know, Ron Cottrell been here as the head basketball coach for what, 25 years now?
26 years, yeah.
26 years.
Yes.
What he's meant to HBU, he's a strong leader here for this men's basketball team.
Well, absolutely. Not just a strong leader, but a strong Christian leader in our campus. That's a huge thing. And, of course, originally he was the athletic director. He was my predecessor here. So, you know, he has a wealth of experience, knows everybody, and I still rely on him very heavily.
Tell me about just the future, things that are coming on here on campus, the excitement level, not only with the students, but athletic-wise, things coming in the near future here at HBU.
Well, I can tell you that we're working on several different facility needs that we have. I mean, that's the one thing from the very start that we had to bring up to speed, and we're slowly but surely getting there. It's just taking some time. We want to build a new baseball park, and we're working on that diligently right now. And obviously, when we get the CVS out of here in a couple of years, we'll put the other side of this stadium in. And then I think we'll have pretty decent facilities across the board. Now, obviously, we've got to do something with Sharp Gym, but part of the retail space over on the freeway includes a new arena. It's a timing issue, and you've got to get all the retail up and operational before we have the bonding capacity to be able to go look at arena.
And Steve, finally, we've had some big crowds out here this year. The Texas Southern game, also this game against Sam Houston State. You're seeing big crowds, great turnouts, and some good football too.
Well, absolutely, and of course winning begets that too. And so with the 2 wins, that's been a huge factor in that. But it was just an absolute great atmosphere out here with TSU a couple weeks ago. And then of course the overtime win last week was a lot of fun for everybody.
Steve Maniaci, he's the athletic director here at HBU. It's 31-6 right now. Sam Houston State leading at halftime. We'll break down the first half and much more when we return.
I believe my inner child belongs on the outside.
I believe you should never be afraid to speak your mind.
I believe knowledge is free and can be shared with anyone.
I believe if you spend too much time looking back, you'll miss what's ahead, like a wall.
I believe with faith, the future isn't so intimidating.
At HBU, belief isn't just a mindset, it's an action. And our mission is to empower our students so their beliefs can fuel their lives. HBU, a higher education.
Back here at Husky Stadium at halftime, Tom Franklin and John Harris up top as we look down at a 31-6 lead for Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State comes in at number 2 in the country in the FCS standings and 405 yards in the first half. You kind of see why.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been averaging in the mid-600s the first couple of weeks. And it is really easy to see why. Depth at running back, wide receivers all over the place. And then a guy that is managing it at quarterback in Jeremiah Briscoe, knowing when to get rid of the football, good timing. They've run some excellent screens. You can see the full package on Sam's offensive scheme.
You know, it's interesting when you say Briscoe in full control. You know, he split time and played behind Jared Johnson last year, and Johnson transferring out to UTSA as a graduating player to play his final year. And Casey Keeler said that Briscoe kind of deferred to Johnson last year and let Jared run the team. But as soon as he found out that Johnson was leaving, he said he stepped up, was a changed person, and took total command of this offense.
And you can see that from the way they run this up-tempo, the way he gets everybody to the line of scrimmage. And I've said this about the offensive line. They get ready to go no matter where that first down takes place. It might be 60 yards downfield. They are ready to run that next play within 9 or 10 seconds. That's one group we haven't talked too much about. And they will put a hat on a hat. There are no tight ends to help them out. Those 5 guys are keeping Briscoe upright, and they're opening huge holes for Webb and Gordon and Reamer. Those guys are getting a lot of yards based on what that offensive line is doing.
Why don't we take a look at some of these first half highlights in our 31-6 ball game, and it gets underway with a big play from Briscoe down the middle, finding Davion Davis inside the 10-yard line to set up their first touchdown, which was Javin Webb going untouched over the right side from a yard away. Briscoe through the air, a great defensive play there by Derek Broussard. Now here's a punt return and a huge block on special teams, springing Brandon Taylor loose. But then they find Jedediah Lewis down the sideline for a big 46-yard touchdown run. Here's Webb again with his second touchdown of the half, rolling over people. He just steamrollered Brandon Thompson. And here's an interesting play. The strip of Scott picked up by G. He's going back the other way. Whoops, there goes the football. And Davion Davis is the guy who recovers for Sam. And finish it off with a touchdown pass to Nathan Stewart. And it's 31-6 here at halftime here at Husky Stadium. So what do you think in the second half? It's probably going to be tough for HBU to get back in this game, but they can still keep the momentum they've gotten for the last 2 weeks with those victories by doing something here in the second half. What do you want to see them do?
Well, I think it starts with Tony Dawson. The last few drives of the first half, for the most part, he moved the pocket. They moved the pocket for him. He threw the ball on the run pretty well. He scrambled well. They ran some speed option where he was able to flip it out to Terrence Peters. I just want to see them do, Tom, what they've been doing the first couple of weeks. Mix run and pass. Let Tony do some of that on his own and use all the weapons. Spread it out to Barnett and Lewis out on the perimeters. Let Peters run the ball inside. And they started to have a little bit more success running the ball inside with Peters. The second half isn't so much about this game as much as it is, Tom, as you said, about the remainder of the schedule. What's coming up next? More Southland Conference play, and playing this unit, number 2 in the country, and you can see why. This will give them even more confidence if they have some success in the second half, no matter whether they put field goals or touchdowns on the board. They just have to move it effectively with all that they already do on the offensive side of the ball.
Let's take a look at some of the first half statistics now. We told you 405 yards at the intermission for Sam Houston State. Well, we see 399 on our board to 163. But you see HBU with the rushing yardage that came late in the second quarter. They've got it over 100 yards there. They've had the time of possession, but Sam Houston State scores so quickly, they don't need the ball for very long.
Yeah, Sam Houston State time of possession, you can just cross that out. That doesn't matter. That's like Chip Kelly at Oregon. He didn't care about time of possession. I'm not really sure Casey Keeler looks at time of possession and says, oh, we had a rough half. I think he circles those total yards. He circles the first downs. Because for Sam, as fast as they run the offense, as fast as they execute it, they need those first downs. The first downs keep them going at a pace that you have to try and match, not the time of possession. And those 16 first downs were key because they're just moving HBU's defense and keeping them off track and keeping them on their heels the entire first half.
31-6 is our halftime score. Sam Houston State on top. We'll be back with more halftime activities from Husky Stadium in Houston after this timeout. 31-6, Sam Houston State leading on the scoreboard here as we're at halftime at Husky Stadium. But one of the features that we're bringing you as a companion to tonight's game is the Big Play Tracker. You can find it at bigplaytracker.com and see how offensive plays and offensive players, defensive players, and special team players contribute to the point total on the scoreboard via the Big Play Tracker. Mike Knapp has been running the Big Play Tracker Michael, give us some semblance of what's going on here in the first half.
Tom, John, remarkable how the score of big play score of 31-14 so closely mimics the scoreboard that's out there. I think the distinction we want to look at is if you look to the right of the screen, and the offensive frequency can be a little misleading to say, wait a minute, what's so good about what the Huskies are doing? I'll tell you what's not so good about it. They've only had the ball for 50% of the snaps that Sam Houston's had it. So don't be fooled by that. It's not just the time of possession that's misleading you were talking about a moment ago, John. It's about the proficiency and efficiency with which they're getting things done. Same thing on special teams, but let's give credit a little bit to the team units of defense and special teams, staying on the field, forcing some 3-and-outs, and causing a missed field goal there towards the end of the second quarter with a missed close to 50-yard attempt.
For people who have not seen the big play tracker, give the folks a little bit of a scenario as to what contributes to a big play on the big play tracker.
We want to give credit to the entire team unit on offense for first down to first downs, chunk yardage of gains of 20 or 40 yards, and fourth down conversions. But let's talk about the defense and special teams that are doing a good job of forcing 3-and-outs, fumble recoveries, interceptions. Now, we haven't seen turnovers tonight. Anyway, not that it counted with the 2 that went in the same play.
Fumble for each team, right.
But we're looking to be able to create an opportunity to recognize momentum shifts as they occur and attribute the kind of point value that recognizes that. And I think the score of 31-14 so closely resembling the scoreboard here tonight speaks to that.
So double fumbles don't end up on big play tracker. Michael, we might need to go back and look at where the double fumble ends up on a big play tracker.
I want to go back to that play. It was on a second or third down. The net gain of the offense was less than 20 yards. Therefore, since there wasn't an opportunity for a first to first, it was a net gain of less than 20. Therefore, a net, not big play.
So what we learned is that technically it's a pivotal play because HBU not able to get the football, but because of the measurement, it's not really a big play, but still a pivotal moment where HBU could have taken that ball, gotten possession, and of course if they held on, would have been in better shape.
And you can find out more by going to bigplaytracker.com and follow their live scoring during the course of this game. We'll come back and set you up for the third quarter after this timeout.
I worked in the oil field and was badly injured on the job. I couldn't relax. All I could think about was the pain. I felt like it was destroying my marriage, my relationship with my son. I came to US Pain and Spine, and they put a spinal cord simulator in that blocks the nerve signals so you don't feel any pain. I was back on my feet the next day. They gave me back my life. I can't thank the doctors and the staff enough. They truly saved my life.
US Pain and Spine Institute. We make life better.
Today's game is being brought to you by Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. By Abraham, Watkins, Nichols, Sorrells, Augusto, and Friend. Randy Sorrells, a recipient of HBU's Outstanding Alumnus of the Year Award. By Roadrunner Moving and Storage. Call our buddy Jim Skaggs at 713-417-9593. And by Big Play Tracker. Unlocking the power of the big play, you can find it online at bigplaytracker.com and follow along with their scoring of this ball game live as it happens here at Husky Stadium. The teams have returned from the locker rooms and we'll get set for action here in the third quarter, and the Huskies will get the ball to start after having to kick off to Sam Houston to get the game underway. And as we take a little bit of an in-depth look, here's an interesting stat, John, that we found when we came back in here and looked at it. 9 yards per play for Sam Houston State, 4.5 for HBU.
Doubled up on yards per play.
Wow.
And run 45 plays in the first half. Now HBU's on track to run 74, but Sam's on pace to run 90. They've actually slowed down. They only ran 18 plays in that second quarter.
And part of the reason was the 5-minute drive that led to one of their field goals.
Absolutely. I think that's the formula against Sam, and I don't think it's not really difficult to find that out. You've got to keep that offense off the field.
Let's go to Jeff Power and see what he's found out at halftime here down on the sideline. Jeff?
Yeah, I was just talking with Casey Keeler, head coach over at Sam Houston State. He said they need to finish. They've been in this place before. They were here last week. They want to finish the game strong and continue to get a lot of pressure on the edge. They feel like Dawson is making them hurt a little bit on the outside, so expect more pressure from the edge. And they just want to play more clean on special teams as well. Too many mistakes, too many penalties. Back upstairs.
All right, so we'll start the third quarter. Luke Swimberanga is kicking the ball. Ricardo Barnett standing back at the goal line for Sam Houston State. Check it, this is Trey Honstein who's kicking off, number 39. Honstein will send it, and it'll be taken, and a knee goes down. David Racine took it away from Barnett, and the two of them had a little conversation there, a little miscommunication when all was said and done.
I think Barnett made the tackle there.
Yeah.
I think Barnett was, young buck, you're going to stay right here.
Yes.
We're just going to keep this right here. You tell those front guys, don't go backwards. You don't go backwards. You let Turner get to it, especially if it's a kick with that kind of height that Holstein just got on it. You don't go backwards. That's Barnett's ball. Stay away from it. Let him make the decision. That's why I think Barnett gets credit. We'll give him at least an assist. He'll get one assist.
That's one of those pop fly balls where I got it. No, I got it. No, I'm yelling, I got it.
You let the center fielder take it, big fella.
It's the 1st and 10 from the 25. Tony Dawson rolls out and throws this one in the dirt. He had Hall short, and he had Lewis deep coming out on the out patterns from the slot and the outside. He just grounded that one.
Yeah, both of them actually open on the outcuts, double outcuts here on the sidelines. Tony 6 of 13 in the first half, 55 yards, but 8 carries. Those 8 carries have been big for 67 yards. A couple of scrambles, huge in that number.
2nd down and 10. Swing it outside. Hall had it and left it behind him at the 30-yard line.
Trying to get upfield before he's got the ball secure. Not a bad throw there from Tony, maybe a tad behind him, but that's a ball Isaiah Hall should catch 10 out of 10 times. He's got to come up with that. He had some room to run out here up the sideline. He had Lewis on the block out here on number 23, Sammy Webb. He had some room to run. He just had to catch up to it. Now that leaves 3rd and long. That lets Sam let those front 4 guys in a wide 9 out to the top of the screen is P.J. Hall.
Dawson flushed out of the pocket. He's in trouble. Breaks away. Had some room up the near sideline. Running for the first down marker and will get it across the 35 and out of bounds to the 36-yard line. Tony Dawson scrambles for 11.
What we've learned in the 3 weeks of covering HBU football is if you're going to rush, you can't get high upfield, and your defensive tackles have got to stay in their rush lanes because Dawson will exploit them.
Quick snap, and the give is to Peters, and he'll pick up about 4 to the 40-yard line before he'll go down. Down at the bottom of that pile is Mufa Debo, number 90. Had some help from Johnson and Brown, the linebackers coming out.
I know that doesn't look like much, Tom, but 2nd and 6 is so much easier than 2nd and 9 or 10.
Peters again around the right end, and he'll pick up 10 more and another first down for HBU. Finally got tripped up by Webb, got enough of his ankles to take him down to midfield.
Looks like Terrence Peters is holding that right shoulder. Nice cut inside, found his blockers, bounced it, then got up inside and ran actually into Wesley Lewis, who was trying to block on a perimeter there on Alfonso McMillan. Peters will come out of the game, and that puts B.J. Kelly back in.
Kelly, a junior, out of New Orleans by way of Midway High School in Hewitt, Texas. One of those hurricane moving guys. And Kelly right up the gut for 4 yards.
There's a little split zone right there, and Kelly just ran right in between the line and the split, which is Mev Ajden blocking the backside. Excellent call right there. And again, I go back to 2nd and 5. Every offensive coordinator in the world loves 2nd and 5 as opposed to 2nd and 10. You run it well, you have the opportunity to get in this down and distance, which as a quarterback, Tony Dawson has to love too.
Running play for Kelly, and this time the line stopped him, but he broke away. He gets to the 40-yard line for the first down. How did he get away? There are two white shirts down there. Adebo is down there along with James De La Rosa. Somehow they missed him.
And so did Sammy Webb, the corner coming up from secondary run support. And Kelly just fought through the tackle by a big fella right there, number 68, James De La Rosa, who is down on one knee. And Kelly just kept his legs driving. That was a man's run right there by Kelly. And one thing you notice, Tom.
Look at Peters going out there, giving it to Kelly, saying, that's the way you do it.
Right, and that's exactly the point. Great point there by Terrence Peters, who's talking to his offensive lineman right there down on the sidelines. These backs are both running the ball much harder in the second half. They're running with more oomph. They're having to run to the hole faster. They're getting their energy. They're realizing what it takes against a defense like this. You can't tiptoe through the line of scrimmage. You can't be that patient. If you see a sliver of a hole, you have to go, and that's what they're doing in the second half, and it's paying off as they're running through some arm tackles now in the second half, which they weren't doing in the first half.
First and 10 for the 40 in Sam Houston territory. Blitz trying to show. Here they come. Dawson throws on the outside, low and away from Hall. And again, number 92 is just in his face so quickly.
He is so quick. Coach Keeler, before the game, as I was talking to him, said he might have the quickest first step he's ever seen of a player he's coached, and you see why. This guy is so fast. He's 275 pounds.
Second down and 10. Dawson, deep down the far side. Barnett leaps, he got it at the 9-yard line. He just went up in front of Carlos Teal and took it away.
Excellent throw, great protection, and then an athletic catch by Barnett. This is what we've been asking for. 6'5" on 5'11", down the field. We knew they'd go back to it. That time Dawson had the time to throw it.
Quick snap. Kelly tried to take advantage, had a little bit of daylight, got a couple of yards, almost to the 6-yard line. It'll be second and goal from there.
Tom, we can't say this enough. Big points, big points, big points.
Finish drives.
Got to finish this here for HBU.
On second down, fade pattern.
Again,
Barnett just over his head, incomplete. Trying to take advantage of that size advantage that you talked about, John. 6'5" guy, put it up there and let him make a play.
I think Kaldamasi was trying to get Sam an offsides penalty. As soon as Sam jumped up front, he snapped the ball, which he's taught to do. Except Sam, I guess, didn't get that far into the neutral zone, and he got a little quick snap, which forced Dawson to have to throw the fade at that particular moment, but no flag from the stripes here. Third and goal at the 7.
Hey, bring in the tight end, Buddy Tuamasaga. He's tight end on the left. Adjton, the H-back, is also that way. But they're going to throw this way. The quick slant and went behind Lewis.
Miscommunication there.
Yeah.
Not sure what Dawson wanted Lewis to do, because Lewis was running the slant to the middle of the field. He was going to be open. I'm not sure what Tony was looking at there.
Almost looked like the way he threw it, almost looked like he was expecting a stop pattern.
Right, either hitch or running a little out away from the defender, but he had him beat on the slant, so not sure about the miscommunication there. Another good drive. Unfortunately, he's going to end in 3 points, at least hopefully with Chadwick here.
Trying to boot his third field goal of the night from 24 yards, and he puts it through the uprights. So a good drive, but couldn't quite finish the deal. The HBU Huskies, as they take it from their own 25 on the opening kick, stall at the 7-yard line, 24-yard field goal, third of the night for Alec Chadwick. Makes it a 31-9 ball game.
But you can see what HBU's offense can be. Peters run hard, Kelly running hard, Dawson making plays off schedule, using the big receivers. That drive to me is indicative of what HBU's offense can be. They moved the ball extremely well in that drive, and it wasn't against Sam's third and fourth string.
Right.
Those are the starters out there for Sam, and they just went boom, 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 boom. Now, a team still trying to find itself after a few years here in the Southland Conference. That's inside the 10-yard line. That's the next step. You get that ball in the red zone, you got to finish with big points. That, I would guarantee, is going to be the one message Big Sheely will start with. Hey guys, 20-20 or 20-10, you look great. Finish finish the drive. Finish. You mentioned it, the right word, finish, the F word. You've got to have that. Those 3 are touchdowns at 31-21, anybody's ball game at that point. But it's 31-9 because you've gotten down in deep and weren't able to do it.
Chadwick to kick it away. Miller on the far hash. They kick in his direction. And he fumbled it at the 3-yard line. Has to go back for it. Now he's in trouble. And still on his feet. Look out. He's out to the 20. And finally down at the 24-yard line. Unbelievable run by Jalen Harris.
I'm pretty sure Jalen Harris can get open in a phone booth. I mean, although nobody knows what a phone booth is anymore, they're going to fumble it here. And watch how the blue shirts converge. He's going to make that guy miss.
1,
and there's
2,
2, 3. Little jump cut, 4. I mean, I don't think he's any bigger than my daughter, who's in 9th grade, and he just made everybody miss. He is dangerous with the ball in his hands.
1st and 10 for the Bearcats from their own 24. Running play. Remus Bulmer will get across the 25 to the 28-yard line. Let's see what Jeff Powers got on the sideline.
Hey, you might have noticed down here on the field, our line judge, Kat Conti. She is a female, yes, 17-year veteran officiating crew. She's a line judge tonight. Message to other women, go for it. Don't let anyone tell you no. Back upstairs.
Tried a little screen pass out for Yeti Lewis. He fumbled it, and Nicholas Smith almost had the INT.
Nicholas Smith is going to be kicking himself for this. Watch this pop right out of Yeti Lewis's hands, right in the air. And Nicholas Smith had an opportunity to make the pick. And again, another play that could have changed how the second half goes, and HBU unable to make it. They recovered a fumbled it right back. That interception was right in Smith's hands, and they couldn't take advantage of it by him squeezing the pigskin, giving Sam an opportunity to get this one on 3rd down.
Briscoe throwing on the outside and making the catch as Davion Davis. Flag is down. This could be offensive interference. He was tied up with Chris Taylor.
Preach, partner. That's exactly what this is.
You can see the side judge pointing back this way.
You can see Davis. I was watching that route because that was the only route there available to him. And there it is, offensive PI. And that is going to be on Davis. Taylor was in pretty good position. And right at the end, Davis got separation. And that's a pretty easy formula. You don't get 2-3 yards of separation when the guy's right next to you unless you've pushed off. And Davis definitely did that on the far sideline.
Look there at the HBU sideline. Dion Lilly down on his back, trying to cool off on a hot, muggy night in Houston, Texas. And the walk-off takes the ball back to the 14-yard line, half the distance. Now it's going to be 3rd down and 20. They converted a 3rd and long late in the first half.
You stole the words right out of my mouth, Tom. That's exactly what I was thinking. 3rd and 20, 3rd and 5, kind of all the same in some sense with this offense.
Briscoe throws and overthrew over the middle, looking for Yeti Lewis. Man on the coverage. It's number 28, and that is Ari Nelson Henton.
He's the guy who had the big hit on punt return in the first half, and now he's back out there. And Tom, you come down and score, you get a 3 and out. You gotta feel pretty good about how you started.
Might get good field position here.
You might get a good return here. But this is what you needed to have happen coming out of the locker room.
Taylor standing at his 45. Figgenshaw kicks it from inside his 5 and got a good one. Dropping the ball, the fight for it at the 32-yard line. And Taylor will get it. A dangerous play there. Almost broke the momentum that HBU is trying to start this 3rd quarter with. 31-9 our score, 10:58 left in the 3rd quarter at Husky Stadium in Houston. You're watching Southland Conference football. All right. There is a marker down back where the punter was. Now, if it's roughing the kicker, that's an automatic 1st down. If it's running into the kicker, again, the microphone is having a hard time working here.
All right, so
if it's running into the kicker, it's only a 5-yard walk-off.
Now, it looks like HBU's defense is going back out on the field.
And looks
there's
like it's
the
going to be the
walk-off.
big yards. And
Let's
here it
watch
is
it
right
here.
here.
You know what they're going to call, Tom? This actually is not roughing.
No, yeah, that's.
But you cannot leave your feet.
That's a hurdling call.
Yes, that's a hurdling foul. We're able to translate through the mic, but you saw right there, number 83 for HBU going up and over one of the
blockers.
One of the blockers, what we call an elephant.
Devontae Clark, backup wide receiver.
And what's frustrating is he had no
chance to get the ball.
He had no chance to block it. He had no reason to do that, and now it sets up Sam 1st and 10. The fumble would have killed the momentum. This did the same thing.
Nice play coming from behind. Taylor Holmes from the backside chasing down Remus Bulmer on 1st down to hold it to a 1-yard gain.
Tom, we saw Taylor Holmes come in the game in the second half last week against Abilene Christian. Made a couple of really nice plays, and he's done it again tonight. He has done a pretty solid job without Cody Moncourt. He's playing that position tonight and doing a pretty solid job.
2nd and 9. Bulmer again coming near sideline. Flag is down. Doran Turner knocks him out of bounds for a loss, but now check the penalty marker.
I got a feeling this penalty is going to be a holding, and it's thrown by the line judge,
who Jeff just alluded to. That is Kat Conti.
Looked like they were holding Terrence Manderville on the edge. And there's the call. And I'm assuming the line judge throwing that flag was looking right at it. And you'll see right here, watch big number 70, left tackle, trying to get his hips on the outside of Manderville. Couldn't do it, so he had to grab with that left hand right there. And that was Curtis Reiser right there on the left side. But HBU, because Doran Turner was flying from the inside out, they're able to hold that play to no gain. Or, I'm sorry, a loss of 1.
Yeah.
Sam's got it now. They decline a penalty and make it 3rd and 11.
Yeah, the ball should be back at the 28-yard line. The marker on the far side of the field is correct at the 28 because that's where Bulmer was pushed out of bounds.
Right.
But somehow they've got it back at the 30-yard line.
Oh, I saw the back judge running away with the football and thought, where's he going? The ball's already spotted.
Well, they mark it at the 30. Okay.
3rd and 9.
So no gain. 3rd and 9 is what it's all said and done. Briscoe has time. Throws on the seam right near the 1st down marker. Yeti Lewis has got in front of Nicholas Smith, and that should be enough to move the stick. It is.
Excellent time. Only brought 2 rushers. You see HBU just making sure Briscoe doesn't escape out of the pocket. And Yeti Lewis gets open in front of Nicholas Smith. Little pitch and catch, a little low, but Yeti Lewis getting his hands underneath it for the 1st down catch.
Remus Bulmer in the backfield with Briscoe. He's got the handoff coming near side, jumps over his own man. Be ridden down by Garrett Dolan just over the 40 out to the 42-yard line. Be 2nd down at about 8.
HBU's defense, Tom, that's a sudden change situation. Have to go back out on the field. I know they got that 3rd and 9, but they're doing a much better job playing the run thus far in this half.
Fake it to Bulmer, throw it. Finney had it, lost it, and Mandeville had an interception, and it got away.
Oh my goodness! How many
Finney
times?
in and out of his hands.
Ball pops right up in the air, and Terrence Manderville is running. He's got 6 points. He's just got to catch it. Oh my
And now Vic Shealy's going to call timeout. Well, here's the interesting thing, John. With 9:37 left here in the 3rd quarter, it's their 4th game of the season. HBU has yet to have an interception on defense. They've yet to throw one on offense. There's not been an interception for the Huskies. Back after this timeout in the 3rd quarter at Husky Stadium in Houston, with Sam Houston State ranked 2nd in the country in command.
Used to work hard have evolved through the years. They've helped us build nations, move mountains, drive ourselves harder. But one thing has never changed: the DNA of hard work, handed down from generation to generation to generation. That's why the DNA of our hardworking protection will always remain the same. Introducing the next evolution of hardworking protection. Shell Rotella.
Testing.
Third down and 8 stares the Sam Houston State Bearcats in the face as we return to play here with 9:37 left here in period number 3 at Husky Stadium. But the last play should have been a catch for Grant Finney. He bobbled it straight up in the air. Should have been an interception for Terrence Mandeville. He couldn't control it. So it goes to third down. So just like we had fumble and fumble, we had should have been caught, should have been caught.
That's 2 on this drive. Two interceptions that could have flipped field position, could have put HBU in possession. Couldn't come up with either one, and now Sam's got another shot on third down.
Briscoe back to pass. Near sideline, right through the hands of Nathan Stewart.
All right, somebody check the footballs. I mean, somebody's got to catch this ball, right? I mean, Yeti Lewis can't be the only one to hang on to this ball. That's a great throw by Jeremiah Briscoe. Right in stride. A tremendous throw. Not held onto by Nathan Stewart. That would have been a big play. How many big plays did we lose on that drive? 3, 4 on both sides combined.
Easily. So Figgenshaw to punt. Taylor back deep inside his 15-yard line. High, towering kick by Figgenshaw. Wow. Taylor doesn't even look. That one hit 2 yards deep in the end zone. That from the line of scrimmage, 60 yards in the air.
That's like you're playing right field and left-handed hitter comes up and just hits a rocket. You just stand there and watch it go out of the stands.
Wave.
Yeah, that's a home run. See ya. Taylor didn't even turn around.
Don't even
He's
flinch.
standing at the 10. He knew that one was well at the end zone. Wow. I don't a lot of times Tom like to talk about punters and kickers. That's just, I don't know. I'm weird that way. But these two punters, Goose
put out a show tonight.
Figgenshaw. And how about Figgenshaw? Lamar consolidated grad.
Oh, I see.
Just
Just
like
saying.
yours truly.
I just say,
you know,
I understand.
football bloodlines run deep.
From the 20, 1st and 10. Oh, look out. Dawson got hit. Eluded the first one, but Hall put him down for good inside the 15-yard line.
He was trying to hit the deep dig route to Wesley Lewis, but not able to do it. Johnson comes through there. Terrence Peters had to pick one of the linebackers to block. Unfortunately, he didn't get either one. But Dawson got out of the grasp of Johnson, but Hall was right there to deliver the final blow.
Back at the 14-yard line, 2nd down, 16. Peters in the backfield with Dawson. Quick throw outside. Has Barnett trying to stiff arm his man Teal. Picked up good yardage. Will set him down to 3rd down and manageable from the 26-yard line.
The connection that these big receivers have with Tony, you really can see it coming together, especially with Barnett. He has been isolated one-on-one on Teal on the backside most of the night. They have put their twins or trips receivers into the field and let Barnett really work one-on-one over on Carlos Teal. And he's done a really nice job working over there, and Tony's getting the ball out on time to him.
6 men at the line of scrimmage. They're all coming. Dawson's on the run near side. He's going to have the 1st down and more across the 40. And he stepped out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Just got the side of his foot on the strike.
The danger of man coverage is you've got your back to the quarterback, and Sammy Webb had his back to the quarterback covering Wesley Lewis. So when Dawson breaks contain, there's nobody out there. They brought pressure.
There.
Sam brought pressure, couldn't get there. Dawson eluded it. You're in trouble at that point because your DBs all have their back to the quarterback.
If this were NASCAR, they'd say he drove too hard into the corner and hit the wall. Handoff on 1st down to Terrence Peters, and he'll get about 5 to the 46, 47-yard line.
Tom, I know they only put up a field goal on that first drive, but how much more impressed are you with what HBU has done offensively in the second half?
Very much more impressed. They look like they're every bit as good as this Sam Houston defense, which is not to be taken lightly. On 2nd down, Dawson, quick throw outside. Barnett's got it for the first down at the 46 in Sam Houston State territory. Carlos Teal on the tackle.
Dawson took a shot right as he delivered his ball on time. And we're seeing a quarterback, and we've seen over the last 3 weeks, he made big plays in all those games, but you just sense the confidence growing that he can do this against the best teams he's going to face, and this might be the best team HBU faces outside of Western Kentucky this year.
On 1st and 10 from the 46, Dawson's going to heave it deep for Lewis. And incomplete, flag down at the 12-yard line. Lewis got tied up with Sammy Webb, and I think Webb's going to draw the penalty this time.
This one got called by both officials back there, so I'd imagine this is going to be on Sammy Webb, and that's got to be a frustrating existence.
Pass interference, number 23, 50-yard penalty for the previous spot, automatic first down.
There's no such thing as a 6'4" defensive back. That makes it so much tougher, and you can see Lewis get body position, and Webb, just knowing he was beat, just grabbed him and tried to keep him from making the catch, which would have been an even bigger gain, but it gives another first down back to the HBU Husky offense.
See if we can get a word from Jeff Power after this play. 1st and 10 now for the 31 in Sam Houston State territory. Huskies on the march. Terrence Peters with the run with some daylight left. First down and more as he'll be pushed out of bounds inside the 20-yard line, mark it at the 17 for a 14-yard gain. And now Jeff Power.
Hey, down here on the sidelines, number 20, Doran Turner for HBU has had to have his left shoulder iced, and it's also taped up. Remember, he was carted off the field last week suffering from a stinger, and he is back on the bench now. Back upstairs.
Quick throw on the outside. Isaiah Hall with the catch. Webb with the tackle. Short gain of the play at the 14-yard line. 2nd and 7 coming up.
The mix of run and pass, but not only the mix of run and pass, but how they're doing it. Slant routes, deep routes, inside runs, Dawson on scrambles. I just love the mix of what HBU offensively is doing at this moment.
Peters on 2nd down. Finds not much going there. He might have gotten the pile forward for 2 to the 12-yard line, which will leave them 3rd down and 5.
I know Tony has made a ton of plays tonight on the scrambles, but there have been, and that was the second one, he could have pulled that on the zone read, and I think he had a lot of room out there to the field, especially when he's running to the field with his speed. I think he could have gotten out there, gotten matched up on a Sam Houston State defender, made him miss, maybe got into the end zone at that point, but if he watches the film, he'll want that one back because I think he had some room to run on the zone read pull.
Big 3rd down play. Lewis in motion, fake the jet sweep, throw it to the end zone, wide open, touchdown, Mev Edgson from the H-back position, and finally, HBU gets in the end zone for 6.
Excellent play call. Mev Edgson, as the inline tight end, just leaks up the sideline, and the defensive backs lose him. Why? Because of the zone read play action. You've got to run that down the line thinking you're going to have to stop zone read. Here comes the running back, so the DBs all jump to it. Ashton leaks up the sideline, and that's the play that earlier in the game, had Ashton got a better throw from Dawson, it would have been about a 50-yard gain. That time, it was all they needed to get in the end zone.
Point after try is true by Alec Chadwick. New score on the board. Sam Houston State 31, Houston Baptist 16. 5:46 to play, 3rd quarter at Husky Stadium. Southland Conference football coming your way on Fox College Sports. Well, they started without us. The kickoff, big return by Tyler Scott up the near sideline. Took it just inside the 10-yard line and brought it out almost to midfield at the 47 in Sam Houston State territory, 31-16. And suddenly we got a two-score game here, John.
And you see Tony Dawson down on the sidelines talking to his offensive line, talking to his offense, and you can see the leadership coming out. You can see him extolling them, saying, look, we got this. We're moving the football. And it's a really good mix, but HBU has upped its level of play in the second half. Unfortunately, great kickoff return for the HBU defense there by Sam Houston State, and we'll see how Sam responds at this point in the second half.
Remus Bulmer with a handoff, hanging on for dear life from behind. Offensive lineman number 60, or defensive lineman number 64, and that is Austin Holly, who was the first one there. Holmes finished them off, but watch 64 at the bottom right there.
Hang on, just hang on to cloth, jersey, whatever you got, and let everybody else get there, and you hold them to a 2-yard gain.
Second down and 8. Briscoe on a play fake, has time, throwing deep near sideline and overthrows Finney. Well covered down the near sideline that time, and that was Tay Spann on the coverage.
You can see Sam's offense is just out of sync this entire second half. This is the second drive they've had it. Third drive, I think they've had it, and they're just out of sync. Yeti Lewis was wide open down the seam on the right side, but Briscoe scanned to the left and went deep instead of taking the gain to Yeti Lewis. Wouldn't be surprised if he eyes him up here on 3rd and 8.
Again, they bring the all linebacker package in, no down defensive lineman. Rush coming, Briscoe gets it away, threw it behind Lewis. Spann was there on the coverage. It's gonna be 3 and out for Sam Houston State. And suddenly some momentum is in blue.
And that play was open the play before. So when they went to it, HBU secondary was in much better shape to stop it, force a tough throw by Briscoe. And now HBU should get the ball back. Not gonna get in great field position because Figgenshaw has hit bombs, but now he needs one to pin inside the 10. This would be a perfect time for the old coffin corner kick to pin HBU deep.
3 punts for a 49-yard average, and this one shanked off the side of his foot. It'll hit about the 20, go straight up in the air. It'll be down right there. Downing the ball is P.J. Giddings for Sam Houston, so not the punt that time that Figgenshaw was looking for.
After a long return there by Scott, with the way Sam's offense has been rolling through the first half, it feels, Tom, as if Sam's offense has sort of been lulled to sleep and it needs something to kind of wake it back up. And I thought that return might be it, but it really is sort of, it's been sleepwalking through the second half thus far.
Very reminiscent of last week's game against Lamar. They were out 31-0 at the break in that ball game, and Lamar comes back with some big points in the second half. So here's Tony Dawson and Houston Baptist throwing on the sideline. Oh, he was looking for Lewis, but underneath was Hall, and he thought it was for him, and when he went up to tip it, that took it away from Lewis. Lewis would have made that catch.
Yeah, they've run that route a few times. It is key for Isaiah Hall. He kind of floated a little bit too deep. He's got to stay a little bit shallower, or Lewis has got to get a little bit deeper. Too many guys in the same spot. They've just got to get that spacing figured out, and that route would hit if they get that spacing a little bit better.
Tua Masaga is tight end on the left. Adson moves over to the right. Throw it out of the backfield. B.J. Kelly, look out. Tracked down by B.J. Hall. That guy is just so good, it's unfair.
Watch the quickness and the redirection. Defensive ends are not supposed to do this, and then they're not supposed to make a tackle for a loss. That guy is a straight baller, the junior out of Seguin at 6'1", 275. Tom, next year, we'll be talking about that guy with an NFL future. I guarantee you that. I know he's not the right size for a defensive tackle, defensive end, but he makes way too many plays for NFL teams not to be interested.
Big third down and 16 now as Kelly goes in motion. Over the middle, incomplete. It's going to be 3 and out. Let's get a quick word from the big play tracker and Michael Knapp.
Well, you can see right now, it's for the first time tonight, HBU has the same number of snaps that Sam has. It's what have they done with it, but more importantly, what opportunity have they missed for offense based on the big plays that would have otherwise been on the defense that didn't occur.
Missed opportunities. Guzman, a wobbler, running up and taking it is Dick at the 49-yard line in HBU territory. Good coverage. He'll be thrown down at the 45-yard line, and that's Mev Adjton on the coverage.
And maybe that 3-and-out will get Sam's offense going on, or get it going here. They've just been out of sync since his second half started, but with a machine like this, you just need to get it rolling. And once it gets rolling, gets a little bit more confidence, gets back in rhythm, it should be fine. But it's got to get there. And the HBU defense, every stop it gets is just building a little bit more confidence in it each and every snap, each and every series.
61 snaps now for HBU, 57 for Sam Houston. Who'd have thought that? Here's Remus Bulmer with some room to the right, inside the 30, still on his feet, inside the 20. And it'll take 3 men to bring him down at the 16-yard line. Remus Bulmer for 29 yards.
That's what we've been looking for right there. Great big seam in the defense right there. He exploits it. Dolan can't make the tackle. He fights through even more tackles. Great run by Remus Bulmer right there for Sam. That is the igniter right there for this offense.
28-yard pickup. This is Brown. No, fake it to him. Throw the slant pattern. Touchdown. What great play action by Briscoe, and as he finds Davion Davis in the end zone for the score.
Bada bang, touchdown. It happens that fast with this offense. That's why it is so dangerous. After a 3-and-out, short punt, not a great return. 1 play, 2 play touchdown. That's wow.
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
That's all you need to say right there. That was impressive. 2 plays, 45 yards for the drive. 16-yard touchdown pass from Briscoe to Davion Davis. Swimberger's point after is good. And with 3:25 left in the third, look at that strike.
Similar concept. Fake the zone read, hold it as long as possible, draw the linebackers. That's going to give you room on the slant route, and that's what they got. Davis got to step inside the defensive back there, and away you go. And it happens just like that. Swift and lethal. 2 plays, touchdown, 45 yards. That's how it's done. Jeremiah Briscoe.
22 seconds.
22 seconds. Ho-hum.
Yeah.
They put another 7 up on the board.
38-16.
But what got that going? 3-and-out by the defense. P.J. Hall's tackle for a loss.
For a loss, set it all up.
Got some heat on Dawson on 3rd down. He's unable to find a receiver. The Sam defense woke up. Then it got the Sam offense going, and now we got a 38-16 ball game.
HBU approaching 300 yards of total offense. Sam Houston, which had right around 400 at the intermission, only with 69 yards of offense here in the second half so far. Kickoff by Honstein. Barnett will take it from the 2. Trying to find room near sideline across the 20 out to about the 22-yard line. And that's where the Huskies and Tony Dawson will take over. And now we'll bring in Michael Knapp for a word from the Big Play Tracker scoreboard.
Well, it's 39-21 on the Big Play scoring tracker. If you want to see how we got to the score of 38-16, just go to bigplaytracker.com and you can see what we call the big plays, the points we give them, and where the momentum has occurred in this game.
Very interesting to follow it along, and you see that, oddly enough, Sam Houston's defense has made more plays than their offense, even though they've got 38 points up on the board. The whistle's coming in from the back. What do we got here? Officials timeout. I don't see any flags down.
We're get a word here.
Play.
Now, it sounded like he said that play is being reviewed, and I'll tell you what I think it is. Barnett, when he caught the ball,
close to having his knee down, yes.
Very close to having his knee down. I bet that's what they're looking at here. Because when he caught the ball, I remember thinking, no, you got to get behind the ball as a kick returner, but not that far. He was almost too far behind it. So that, I think, is what they're looking at here to see if his right knee ends up hitting the ground, and we'll see if we can't get a replay of it.
I forget what game it was last week, but there was a game somewhere last week where that exact thing happened, and the returner had his knee down on the 1 yard line.
All right, take a look at Barnett here. His knee was very close. I don't think it was on the ground.
Yeah, hard to tell. It's the left leg. Yeah, boy, that's, you know,
it is close.
If we had a different angle, it's hard because his right leg is kind of blocking the view of the knee itself. And you can't quite tell if he got to the turf or not. But he came very, very close if he didn't get on the turf.
It looked like his knee was coming up right at the time he was catching that. But I've said this about Barnett. He doesn't look like your normal kick returner. He's 6'5". Here's another look from behind.
Here, this might show us. Oh, he's down.
Now, the tough thing in this is, was his knee down when he caught
the ball, yeah.
Or did his knee come back off the turf? That's the question. But this is that hidden yardage, game behind the game sort of thing. Here's another look at it. Time this.
Down.
Ooh, it is
Boy,
close.
it is so close. It was, as you mentioned, trying to come back up. He was definitely on the turf at one point.
At some point he was. And that's what the linesman is telling HBU's assistant coach right there.
Yeah, that's Cat Conti.
That's what they're talking about.
Here's the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called.
So I guess it was inconclusive that the knee was actually down when he caught the ball, or was it coming back up off the turf? And so you've got to go with the call on the field.
And the call on the field was actually no call, that it was not down.
Which means keep going.
So you just keep going, keep playing. And that's 19 yards in the positive, because he caught that ball at about the 1 or 2. That ends up being a big gain for HBU.
About a 20-yard play right there.
Yep.
So 1st and 10 for the 21 for the Huskies in Dawson. Peters looks for running room, finds a seam up the middle. It'll be spun down by Contreras as he gets to about the 28-yard line.
What a great cut by Terrence Peters. Justin Johnson got into the hole, and it looked like he was going to run that in the B gap between the guard and tackle, and Johnson showed up, and Peters cut right back in the backside A and got wide open for that big gain.
Quick throw on the outside for Isaiah Hall, his first catch of the night. And he rolls for the first down at the 37-yard line. And again, Contreras on the reception. And you see Terrence Peters got shaken up on that play. He's on the sideline. B.J. Kelly in at the running back spot.
16 carries for 99 yards for Peters. Tough sledding tonight, running hard inside, but averaging over 5 yards a carry.
Kelly with the handoff, not much this time. Got to the line of scrimmage, and that's about all. A lot of white shirts across the line of scrimmage on that snap.
And now Dawson is in 2nd and long.
Never good to see offensive linemen on top of defensive linemen when you're unpiling on a running play.
That's good, Matt. That's good.
That means the defensive guys got underneath leverage.
Yep. That is great. Hey, wait a second. I was trying to take your play-by-play job. Hold on now. You want both of these? You want the analyst job too?
I can't take the big play tracker. Michael's got that all by himself. Deep throw near sideline for Wesley Lewis, incomplete. Good coverage by Sammy Webb.
Not sure if Wesley Lewis tracked this ball all the way, because he was running to the sideline and the ball actually landed in front of him. So I'm not sure that he tracked it all the way. But throwing it down, you look at the tail end, it looks where the ball lands. Look, Lewis loses it.
Yeah, he doesn't have this one at all.
Yeah, he didn't track that one at all down the field. And let me tell you, that is not easy to do on a deep route, to be running as fast as you can be and trying to track that ball in the air, especially at night. But it looked like Lewis sort of lost that one and lost where he was, and that brings up a 3rd and 10.
They have a Debo and Hall both on this side of the field. Throwing the other way, it was Dawson, incomplete, looking for Barnett, who would have had the first down, but the ball was low and outside, incomplete. 3 and out this time after a big first down run.
Not able to move it. Terrence Peters came off the field and winning on first down. We don't talk about that a lot, but Sam won that first down run against B.J. Kelly.
Right.
Kept that 2nd and 10. They went long. Now you're in 3rd and 10. Now you're playing right into Sam's defensive hand right there.
And it's Guzman to kick. Derek Dick calling for and making the fair catch at the 23-yard line in Sam Houston State territory. 1:47 to play, 3rd quarter. 38-16, the Bearcats on top.
Obviously a tough uphill climb for HBU. Let's look at it from both sides, Tom. Tough uphill climb for HBU. But the scores of the 3 games with Sam the last few years
have been totally off the board.
They're brutal. I mean, it's NSFW for television. So HBU's got to feel like, look, let's play the next 15 minutes as hard as we possibly could play.
Right.
Gather momentum because we're going to face Southland Conference opponents that are
not
at
as
this
good.
level.
Yes.
We can play with everybody in this conference, guys.
Swing it out to the man in motion, Lewis, on the far sideline. He's going to get close to first down yardage. Mandeville tracked him all the way around for the defensive end. He followed him as he was the man in motion and made the tackle, but not before he got the first down.
And you just flip it on out there to number 9, who's made plays all night long. And he is tough to handle. For Sam, we got to keep the machine going, guys. We can't let any rust gather in our machine. We just have got to keep this thing rolling. We can't relax.
Briscoe had all day to throw, and his intended receiver goes down. I thought he fell down, but a flag comes in from the back, and the receiver stays down at the 48-yard line in HBU territory. I think that's Davis.
We're going to have pass interference, it looks like, on HBU. We got Davian Davis down.
He is not a happy camper right now.
He collided with, I believe it was Nicholas Smith in the secondary.
Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty for the previous.
You got it right there.
First down.
Yeah, good to see that Davis popped up all right. He's going to walk off under his own steam. But he was uncomfortable there for a minute. Don't have a good look at it, but the 15-yard walk-off will take the ball to midfield. Reset the chains there. 1st and 10 for Sam Houston State. We still have 1:28 left here in the 3rd.
Excellent offensive line protection. Gave Briscoe all day to try and find a receiver. And he ended up getting the pass interference call, which gives Sam first down in midfield.
Bulmer is the back. Play fake. Briscoe throws. The receiver falls down on the outside. I think that's Corey Compton who came in for Davis. It is Compton, young freshman out of Garland, Texas.
Briscoe got what he wanted, ran a little RPO there inside, rode Bulmer as long as he could, and then found the outside receiver. He just happened to slip before Briscoe could make the connection.
Briscoe gets a change of play from the sideline here. Play clock at 15. 2nd and 10. Gonna run option, toss it to Bulmer. Bulmer around the corner to the 45, maybe the 44-yard line. Holmes there to make the tackle for the Huskies. It'll be 3rd down at about 4.
And that's been a successful play call for HBU's offense. This time Briscoe runs it with Bulmer, and he gets 6 yards on the speed option there. The speed option has worked. I love that play. It's one of my favorite plays to call because it really puts the defense in peril. Dawson's run a little bit better than Briscoe, but hey, you pick up 6 yards on it, setting up a third manageable here, 3rd and 4.
Low snap. Briscoe picks it up, throws it on the outside. It's complete. Nathan Stewart with a catch for the first down. Will be ridden out of bounds near the 35-yard line.
Little pitch and catch. Nathan Stewart out there has touchdown earlier in the first half. Now Sam's ready to go again.
10 yards on the pickup. 1st and 10 for the Bearcats. Down to 33 seconds here in the 3rd quarter. Briscoe gets a snap, 4-man rush. Briscoe's throw is batted in the air, and they couldn't find it. Cameron Luqua was looking around saying, man, why didn't I find that one quicker?
Watch the holding by Sam Hardy. Not during the play, but after the play. Watch number 51. He's going to grab
Luqua right there.
Right there at the end, right before he's about to make the catch, he grabs him with the jersey.
I saw that.
Get there. Great holding. Legally, actually, by Sam Hardy, the left guard for Sam Houston State.
2nd and 10, low snap. Briscoe picks it up. Over the middle he goes. He's got the tight end, Deion Hutchison, who breaks the tackle and gets inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
We call him a tight end, but he's a fullback. Actually, I think he's a guard who lines up with a number 44 in his jersey. Nice catch there, though, by the tight end, Hutchinson.
Got 15 yards. Briscoe to throw again toward the end zone, overthrew his man. Wide open was Hutchison that time. They forgot about the big fella, 6'1" and 250 out of Giddings.
We've seen that play a few times. HBU ran it for a touchdown to Mev Ajden.
Right.
Sam had it right there as we get to the end of the third quarter. But Briscoe, nice drive thus far. We'll see if Sam can turn this into points.
15 minutes to play at Husky Stadium in Houston, and the number 2 ranked Sam Houston State Bearcats looking for their 3rd straight win to open the season.
No, I didn't make that purchase. Someone must have my card number. So I can pick up a new debit card right now? Thank you. All right, everyone, follow me.
But Coach, the gym is that way.
Okay, everyone, do some squats.
Come on. This may take a while.
Here's your card.
Thank you.
Instant issue debit cards. Security, convenience, together.
Well, that was fast.
Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Where next? The dentist?
3 quarters in the book. Sam Houston State with a 38-16 lead over Houston Baptist. On the sideline is Jeff Power.
Hey, the area director of the Southwest Houston Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Bill Moore, joining us right now. And Bill, first of all, large ministry here. It affects a lot of people, about 2 million worldwide.
It does. FCA's been around since 1954. Our national support center's in Kansas City, and we're impacting many, many coaches' lives and athletes' lives, not only locally, but nationally and internationally.
Okay, let's get back to the action real quick, but I will tell you, he's a former Baylor punter under Grant Taft, the miracle on the Brazos, 1974.
Screen pass thrown by Briscoe, caught by Stewart, and brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Chris Hardiman.
You had a jailbreak blitz coming, you had everybody coming up front, but Hardiman played this perfectly. He fought off the block and was right there in the hip pocket to make that tackle and stop for a loss.
Loss of about 1.5 yards. Now it's 3rd down and a long 11. They need to make the 9-yard line. Briscoe with 3 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Blitz coming.
Zero coverage.
They throw on the sideline, and it's caught at the goal line. Touchdown. Goodness gracious, how did he get that football?
What a catch.
Yeti Lewis.
What a catch. This ball had no business being caught.
No.
The Huskies brought 6, went zero coverage, no help in the middle of the field. Everybody in man coverage. Yeti Lewis beat G, but the ball kind of fluttered to him. What a catch by Yeti Lewis. He has been really impressive. One of the smallest guys on the field, making the biggest plays in tonight's game.
Unbelievable. I don't know how he got that ball. I'll be anxious to see the replay after the point after try by Swinbaringa.
The previous
We're going to have a look at it here.
really good touchdown is under further review.
They want to be sure he got his hands underneath the ball. Let's see it here. Lewis waits for it, has it, never touched the ground, maintains control. That's a touchdown.
That is even more impressive to watch it from that angle.
Yeah.
To see how close that thing was to the ground, because he's going up the seam. I think he expected Briscoe to throw it to the goalpost. So to be able to redirect, come back to it, turn your body, and make this catch. Look, he's going upfield. He's got to stop, turn. The ball goes over G's hand. He keeps his eyes on it. What a great catch by Yeti Lewis. one of the better receivers that we've seen, and I think one of the better receivers in the Southland Conference.
Without a doubt. You know, it was interesting. At the end of the third quarter, both teams had run 66 plays, and you would have never guessed that coming into this game, that the amount of snaps from scrimmage would be that close. Now, the yardage differential was about 200 yards difference, over 500 for Sam Houston to 300. But look at Lewis here. All right, well, the knee might be outside the goal line, so this might be just short. If it's not a touchdown, it's first and goal from inches away.
It is definitely a catch.
Just a question of where they think the knee was down when he got it, because he certainly controlled it all the way through.
Right. There's the knee is down.
He's outside, and then he goes. The momentum carries him in. I can see them placing this ball outside the goal line with a first and goal from inches away.
What was the call on the field? Touchdown?
Touchdown, yeah.
Might be tough to overturn this.
Well, the knee's clearly down before he carries the ball into the end zone.
That's, yeah, from that angle. Now, if we had the pylon cam to show us for sure, we'd know. But either way,
you didn't bring it.
I didn't.
Man,
it's my bad. That's on me. Sorry, guys. You know what? I could have taken the one from Foxborough the other night because it sure didn't get used. That's for sure. I gotta grab that one. We could have used that. But let's say Sam gets the ball down at the 1 yard line. That offensive line, and we've talked about them tonight. That offensive line, Tom, has been so good, and yet there are going to be plays that they go back and watch on film tomorrow, and they're going to think they had a C+ performance. They're big, they get after it, they're physical, and they run the up-tempo. And that's the thing, when you have big linemen like that.
It's not a pylon cam, but it was a nice ground level shot there.
Yeah, wasn't bad. These offensive linemen wouldn't mind, I think, getting up there and have the opportunity to mash one and get a rushing touchdown. Because you get rushing touchdowns, then the running backs apparently take you out for dinner, apparently. So,
well, that's the pro game. You're not having those game checks.
Well, they'll take you to the cafeteria.
Well, just say, let's go to the cafeteria and use your meal card, and it'll be okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Here's the announcement from Ross Smith. Yeah, can we hear him?
After further review, the receiver's knee was down at the half-yard line.
So there you go, Tom Franklin. Eyes of a hawk from up here. Nice job.
All right.
But it does not in any way demean the catch that Yeti Lewis made. What a tremendous catch. It doesn't end up being a touchdown for him, but you talk about a great adjustment to the football. And now Sam gets the opportunity to line up and mash a little bit.
So from the half-yard line, they'll go pistol formation. Remus Bulmer is the deep back.
HBU has 10 guys on the field.
And into the end zone untouched, much like their very first touchdown of the game run by Javin Webb. This time untouched in the end zone is Remus Bulmer for the score.
I take that back. HBU only had 9 guys on the field on that play. Only 9.
My goodness. 77-yard drive. 10 plays. A late guy coming out, Tay Span, late getting out here on the point after try. High snap, but Figgenshaw puts it down. Swinberga puts it through. And our new score, Sam Houston State 45 and Houston Baptist 16.
Same play they ran earlier with Webb for the first touchdown of the game. Tom, you mentioned that. And they just go right back to it from the half-yard line and punch it in, make it 45-16. And now you get a chance to look at big play tracker and look at the 19 big plays by Sam Houston's offense. Well over 500 yards. They've been averaging, I think, 650 plus. So they're on track to meet or exceed that, but 19 big plays, 37 in total.
Let's see if we can get an update number on total offense for you for Sam Houston State. They're at 531 now. Houston Baptist at 3:09. Still almost the entire fourth quarter to play. As Honstein will kick it off. See a look there at Tony Dawson waiting to get back out there with his offensive unit. Honstein sends it away toward the far side, and it'll hit and go into and out of the end zone for a touchback. Good decision there by David Racine. You let that ball, you let it hit and see if it goes out of bounds and get the good field position. If not, you'll take it to the 25.
Yeah, you weren't going to get much out of that return anyways. Actually, not a bad spot to kick it short of the end zone, forced to return. But you're right, Tom, if it goes out of bounds, you have the 35, if it goes in the end zone, it just started at the 25.
Well, if you're an HBU fan, you got to feel good about the way your team has hung in here. The first three meetings, as you alluded to earlier, John, the total score in the three games, 213-14.
Wow.
Can you believe? It was 150-0 after the first two. HBU finally scored last year in the first half. They got a couple of touchdowns. First time they had scored on the Sam Houston State Bearcats. Throwing deep down the field and over the head of the intended receiver, Wesley Lewis. Well covered there by Sammy Webb.
That was Derek Roberson coming around the right side. Coach Keeler feels like this guy could eventually develop into a solid edge rusher. And if he does, that allows Sam to move Hall inside and rush from the inside. But you saw Roberson, the transfer from the University of Texas, blazing the edge out here on the right side and getting to the quarterback and forced the little bit longer throw that Dawson wanted.
He's playing the right end spot, number 49. As Dawson out of the backfield find Adjton, who stumbled his way forward for 9 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
If he'd kept his feet, that would have definitely been a first down. And I want to see the fullback, H-back, whatever you want to call Bev Adjton. But he is a Swiss Army knife in a different way than most of them are.
Yeah.
Yeti Lewis can do a lot of things for Sam. He's a Swiss Army knife. Bev Adjton is like the jumbo Swiss Army knife that can do so much for this HBU offense.
We saw earlier this year when they needed to ground and pound at the end of a ball game, they was the guy they gave it to. And this running play is not going anywhere. On 3rd down and 1, the Bearcat defense rises to the occasion. And Craig Bell Jr.'s got a rude welcome into this game. No gain on the play. It'll be 4th and 1.
It looks like Coach Shealy's decided to kick this. And look, I don't blame him. The ball's at the 34. You don't get this. You're almost handing Sam.
You're inviting Sam Houston to get 7 more points.
Yeah, absolutely. You're almost putting 7 right on the docket. So he's going to punt it deep, make him work the field, let your defense have more opportunities to go against that explosive offense.
Guzman to kick. Derek Dick is deep. This one's a wobbler. Dick camps under it, made the fair catch at the 25-yard line. 41-yard kick with no return, 12:49 to play in the game. Sam Houston State controlling by 29 points.
And it looks like we might get a new quarterback here. Caleb Griffin, the backup quarterback, Jeremiah Briscoe, had his helmet in hand. Saw the lefty throwing it before the game. And that obviously is the difference. He is a left-handed thrower. But
6'2", 235 out of Keller, Texas.
Big fella, there's no doubt. He and Briscoe both very big, but this is what happens when you have this kind of offense. If you get in a situation where you get a big lead, your backup gets a lot of reps. He gets a lot of snaps when they need him.
Remus Bulmer on 1st down will get about 5 out to the 30-yard line. Griffin on the season, 4 of 11 passing for 51 yards, a touchdown and an interception. He's also carried it 4 times for 48 yards, but the tempo doesn't change. It's still pedal to the metal here.
Still playing fast, as you see right there, a little split zone. And then gets Bulmer through a couple of yards, setting up the 3rd
more. So now it's 3rd down and 3, ball marked at the 33-yard line.
This might be the slowest that Sam has run the plays all night, maybe by design. But I like this look by Sam here. Bulmer and Brown, in the backfield together, and they're going to throw.
And Griffin looks to throw, swings it out, finds Brown, dropped the ball. It's ruled a fumble, and he's going to be short of the 1st down, wrestled out of bounds by number 49, Andre Walker. See if they rule this a completion or not. See if he's got control. He's got it. Well, I don't know if he had it.
All right, let's get into this conversation about a catch.
Yeah.
What is a catch?
Nobody knows what a catch is anymore. Did he make a football move?
Well,
did he have control
and there's
of it?
also a penalty marker down here at the 37-yard line.
I don't know how many times that we've seen this. Now, NFL, college, high school, nobody seems to know what a catch is anymore.
Yeah.
That looked to me like he never really secured it.
That's exactly what I'm going with. I'm calling that an incomplete pass.
What does your gut tell you? Is that a catch, yes or no?
No.
That's
After
what I
looking
said.
at that replay, that ball was never secured.
Illegal block, number 2 on the offense. Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Penalties offset. It doesn't matter what they called it. We're going to play it over again anyway.
That's all right. I just wanted to vent about what a catch is.
But you're right. When it comes, let's see if we can see who gets the late hit.
This is a better angle from this shot right here.
No, Dolan gets the pass, gets the rough in the passer. No, he never had that ball.
They get another shot at 3rd and 2.
Griffin tries to draw him off with the big loud clap. Four-man front for HBU. Gonna run option, toss it, Bulmer, first down and more on the sideline over the 40-yard line, out to about the 43 for Remus Bulmer.
Across the 40-yard line.
It's about a 10-yard gain.
Personal foul, hit the quarterback late, was the killer there.
Yep.
Little speed option, opposite Griffin's strong hand. He flips it out there with his right hand. Didn't have secondary support there, didn't have primary support there on the edge. Easy pickup there by Bulmer.
Clock continues to move, 11:20 to play. Griffin play fake over the middle, and he couldn't find the big tight end, number 88. And that is Reagan Henderson.
Coach Keeler said an interesting story about Reagan Henderson and P.J. Hall. When Coach Keeler got to Sam Houston, Reagan Henderson and P.J. Hall were both tight ends. And they said to the tight ends coach, you get to pick one. Pick one, the other guy's going to defense. They picked Henderson. Hall went to defense.
I think that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Bulmer on a running play, hit the backfield and brought down Andre Walker. Great penetration. We'll throw it for a 2-yard loss.
We mentioned Walker earlier, a true freshman out of Slidell, Louisiana. Made a bunch of plays. You can tell, look at the defensive line coming off. They are gassed. It's been a long night against this Sam offense. But because it's 3rd and long, now you got all your linebackers and DBs on the field. It's that package we've seen for the last 3 weeks from HBU's defense.
So from the Sam Houston State 41-yard line, 3 receivers to the top of the formation. Griffin, far side, has a man right in the arms of Derek Dick down the sideline and out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Oh, baby, did he lay that right in his lap.
What a dime. Wow, what a throw by Caleb Griffin. Slot fade, one of the toughest routes to cover. Whether you're a corner or safety, from the slot, you'll see Dick run right down the field. And he gets matched up on a safety there, and that's the key. When he's in the slot and you're bringing heat, the safety has to match up on that slot. That's a great route, great throw by Caleb Griffin.
Josh Irwin was the man beaten on the play. But what a great pass. Right over the shoulder and right into his arms. Great touch by Griffin. Here's Bulmer on first down. Got a couple to the 13-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
HBU's given up some big plays in the passing game, no question, in the second half. But the run defense has been much better, especially on the interior. Other than that goal line run, we got a flag on the field. Oh, no, that's just popped up on our screen. Sorry about that. Their interior defense has been a bit better in the second half, stopping the inside runs.
Is that a Pokemon flag?
Might be. This is probably a Pokestop.
Oh, big hole for Bulmer, and he's in the end zone from 13 yards out. And Sam Houston State extends their lead to 51-16.
The winner on that drive, tempo. You can tell HBU's defense is gassed. They've got hands on hips, defensive line. I just had said how good the defensive line had been, but they are also wearing down. And that allowed Sam to take that one into the end zone. Remus Bulmer's had a great night. Found a little bit of a seam. We haven't even seen Corey Avery tonight, the All-Southland Conference runner for Sam. They didn't need him.
They haven't needed him. The running game has been just fine without him. Swinburne going to try another point after. Figgenshaw puts it down. Swinberger puts it through. 9:26 to go here at Husky Stadium in Houston. And number 2 ranked Sam Houston State is up their lead to 52-16. A 13-yard touchdown run by Remus Bulmer has given Sam Houston State a 52-16 lead over Houston Baptist. Now let's take a look at the rest of the Southland Conference today. Some really tight ball games. Central Arkansas over Arkansas State 28-23. A 1-point win in overtime for South Alabama over Nichols. Stephen F. Austin warms up for the Battle of Piney Woods next week by downing Abilene Christian. McNeese over Incarnate Word, and Incarnate Word putting up a battle. And Southeastern Louisiana takes care of Northwestern State by 10.
In that Nichols game, it went to overtime against South Alabama that beat Mississippi State early this year.
Right.
Nichols scored to make it 41-40. They went for 2 and got stopped and lost 41-40 over South Alabama.
9:26 to go here. Sam Houston State in command. Trey Honstein to kick it away. Driving it deep, Barnett, 3 yards deep in the end zone, will take a knee. So the Huskies will take over at their own 25-yard line.
And this time he took a knee on purpose.
Yes.
That was good. That was good. Tom, the score being 52-16.
If I'm an HBU fan, I am not disappointed in what's happened tonight because for 3 quarters, my team hung tough with the number 2 team in the nation. My team is only 3 years old. These guys have been around for a while. You know, they've made the playoffs the last 5 years. They've been, you know, Southland Conference champions 3 of the last 5 years. They've got a very deep team, and I'm still building mine. So I'm running out of gas here in the 4th. But for 3 quarters, I acquitted myself very nicely in this ball game.
And the score, as Dawson misses Lewis on the slant route there, the score just isn't indicative of how this game really went. You had 3 drives where HBU had to settle for field goals.
Right.
Yeah, a couple of those are touchdowns. The score just, I don't think, no matter what it ends up, I don't think the score will tell the true story of how HBU has played and really played its guts out.
On 2nd and 10, Dawson out of the backfield. Nice leaping catch. Isaiah Hall with the catch there. Took a shot on the sideline from Jermaine Roberts Jr. and Hall's shaken up. He's going to stay on the sideline.
Excellent catch here again. One of those layered routes. Hall in the flat. I believe that was Barnett a little bit further on the out cut. He got the ball to Hall. Made a great catch. And it looked like he landed on his hip as he went down. You had another Sam player down.
And it was Jermaine Roberts, the guy who made the hit, who got shaken up a little bit as well.
He's limping a little bit. It looks like Isaiah's up and trying to walk this one off. But on the Sam side of it, Tom, I don't think you played. You didn't play your A+ game. There's a lot that you're going to go back and you're going to look at and say, hey, the start of the 3rd quarter, we got to come out of the locker room with a 31-6 lead. We got to put the hammer down.
But yet you look up, when they wanted to score, they went and scored.
Yeah.
So you see the firepower, you see the dynamic play of P.J. Hall. So you got to lead like that, like against Lamar last week. They got to put the hammer down and finish it.
Just a little wide to the outside for Barnett on 1st and 10. But I tell you what, based on what Houston Baptist has done this week, next week they play their first ever FBS opponent in Western Kentucky. You don't go into that ball game fearing them anymore.
Right.
Not at all. You think you go in there, and they're not going to be any better than the Sam Houston State team is. 2nd down and 10. Running play for B.J. Kelly, trying to follow his blocker, scoots underneath. Gets close to the 45 and is not going down without a fight. Almost a 9-yard gain for Kelly, and he did a lot of work on that one.
Freshman Sterling Savell, number 71, was in the game right there at left tackle. What you got to learn, and I think he will, is you keep blocking to the whistle with these running backs. They're not going down easily.
No.
You keep blocking. He sort of got in the way of B.J. Kelly. You got to stay active, son.
3rd down and 1. Kelly's got the first down and more across midfield before he'll be busted down at the 48, maybe the 47-yard line by P.J. Giddens.
B.J. Kelly hitting the hole with some emphasis. That we started to see in the second quarter, and now HBU moving fast again.
Throw it outside. Ricardo Barnett makes the catch, spun off a defender, and then got wrestled out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. They might give progress, though, to where he caught the ball at the 42. Let's take a look at it here. See, there's the catch at almost the 42-yard line. He got driven back and never got any more, but they did put him down at the 45-yard line, so it's only a 3-yard gain. And it's Kelly to the left side, cuts around a man and gets the first down at about the 36-yard line. Giddens again makes the tackle.
What do they tell you as a defender? See what you hit. Watch Derek Worthy right at the end of this. Look at his head go down. See how his head went down? You cannot hit anybody with your head down for safety reasons and also for that reason right there.
Kelly on that quick handoff did a nice move to alert an on-rushing defender and got forward for about 3 to the 33-yard line.
Nice little solemn ski in there, a little jump cut, back. B.J. Kelly picking up 3 yards there. That's as sexy a 3-yard run as you could have. A nice little shimmy shake he had going through the B-gap on that right side.
See some new players in there. Santiago Montoya is in. Number 41, Royce C. is also in. Number 32. Got some new offensive linemen for HBU as well. That's almost an entirely new offensive line. Dawson runs into Kelly, keeps the ball. He's in trouble. He's going down at about the 37-yard line. And making the sack is number 47, Navone Gurley, a backup linebacker.
You'll see Dawson run into Kelly. And look, if you have a bad snap or you run into your running back, it always feels like the play is going haywire.
Yes.
The only time I've ever seen that work out was Johnny Manziel against Alabama in 2012. You get bad snap and you run into your running back, everything is off schedule. You're probably going to end up like Tony Dawson did the last play.
Dawson over the middle and overthrew. The closest man to the ball was Ricardo Barnett. Now it's going to be 4th down and 11 from the 37-yard line. And with 6:33 to go, you're too far for a field goal. You gonna bring the punt team on? I guess you are. Christian Guzman is there, number 39. So he'll try and plant Sam Houston State deep in their own territory. Bearcats, I thought for a minute we're not going to send anybody back, but now Derek Dick comes running on the field at the last minute. They'll stand at the 10-yard line. Guzman pooches this one high in the air, and I think he got too much air in it. No, nice. Inside the 10-yard line. They'll cover it at about the 8 or 9-yard line. So nice job by Guzman to put that high lob wedge in the air and have the ball sucked back a little bit.
I think if they had had a 4th and 8 or less, would
Might
have
have
gone
thought about it, yeah.
4th and 11. I mean, what's your percentage of making 4th and 11 throughout a season, throughout a lifetime? 10, 15% max. So you know what? You punt it, you pin them in deep. You let your defense go back out there, do some more work, get some good confidence on your defensive side, get a stop, feel good about that heading into next week.
because you'll get tested against Tywan Taylor, one of the best wide receivers in all of FBS.
So look at Dolan there. He's tied for the team lead with 9 tackles along with Taylor Holmes. We'll give you our other defensive player, P.J. Hall. Hall has got 7 tackles, 3 tackles for loss.
That makes 7.5 in 2 weeks, 8.5 on the season.
That's not bad.
That's, I'm telling you, Tom, he doesn't look the part of an NFL guy until you start talking waist down, and then you see that first step. He will be playing the NFL one day.
On second down, running play. Remus Bulmer bouncing off and 1 and got run down at the 15-yard line. After tonight's ball game, Sam Houston State will take the field at Energy Stadium against Stephen F. Austin. Then Incarnate Word, Abilene Christian, Nichols, TSU, McNeese getting down to the end. Running play on first down will get across the 20 to the 21-yard line for Jordan Brown. And for being the 4th-string running back, that guy's pretty impressive. We have an injured player on the sideline, number 66. And that's Mitchell Watanabe, the starting right tackle, who's still out there. And he's right here in front of the Sam Houston State bench.
Yeah, Sam's offensive line on that drive has been kind of a mix, like you said. Watanabe at right tackle still in the game. But it's been a mix of some backups, and then Watanabe was still on the field. Hopefully he's able to get up and walk off under his own power. We'll keep an eye on him. He's kind of shielded by all the players on the HBU sideline, but you mentioned Jordan Brown being the 4th running back. We've seen Corey Avery on the other sideline in full pads. Did not play tonight. He's an all Southland Conference performer, and he is as electric as anybody you're going to see run the football in FCS this year. He is unbelievable. He has such a smooth explosiveness. I mean, he is one cut and go, and he is fun to watch. And watch him against Lamar, every time he touched it, it felt like it was going for about 15 to 20 yards. As we see Watanabe limping a bit, going off the field. Hopefully, young man's going to be okay. The sophomore out of San Antonio, 6'3", 350 pounds, number 66. But Corey Avery, you bring him into the mix, that offense it goes to a totally different level when he's on the field. This offense is fun to watch, and they got the right trigger man in Jeremiah Briscoe running it.
Well, when you see you can play as many as 4 running backs, you can play 10 to 12 defensive linemen. On the wide receiver core, you're probably playing 8 or 9 in the course of a regular game. And Casey Keeler's motto is if he says, if I bring you to Sam Houston State and you don't get on the field, it's a mistake for both of us. Either I recruited the wrong guy who doesn't fit, or you made the wrong choice in coming here, because everybody gets a chance to play with this team at this high pressure, the way they go, and the way other teams try to go high pressure like Houston does. You've got to have those 2nd and 3rd line guys to take the repetitions and not have a big drop off in performance.
Absolutely, and when you're getting into the playoffs, you're playing 15, 16 games a year. So you've got to have that depth to be able to get through the marathon that is an FCS schedule.
On 1st and 10, another running play, and Sam Houston ties this one up. Walker and Bowling among those, stopping that right near the line of scrimmage. Here's Houston Baptist. Next week they go out of conference to play Western Kentucky, then come back in after a week off on the 15th against Nichols State. Then Southeastern Louisiana and Lamar, a 3-game road trip, UTEP. Then finishing with Stephen F. Austin and at Incarnate Word. 2 games in 5 days, a Saturday, Thursday there at the end of the schedule. Running play out to the 30-yard line, dragging defenders with him this time. And that is number 30. And that's Deontay Townsend. That's the 5th-string running back.
He's not a tall guy. No, that's a big guy. Look at the size of his legs and trunk. And I know that I hear that from a lot of people because I like to deal in the NFL draft, so I talk about guys' legs and trunk and all that kind of stuff. So, look, I'm used to it. That's a thick guy.
That's a thick guy. Movement at the line of scrimmage, penalty marker is down. Driving across the line of scrimmage for the Huskies was Tyler Hilaire. Was he drawn off?
Offside.
No, he was not.
Number 96.
And the result of the play is a first down.
Tom,
It was third and short.
We showed Sam's schedule here. One thing that stands out on Sam's schedule this year is there's no FBS opponent. And I started thinking about it as I looked at it. It's fairly logical because if I'm an FBS program, would I want to invite these guys to play at my stadium in front of my fans?
No.
Not a chance in Hades.
You know, and if you even thought about it, think about what happened last week when when North Dakota State went to Iowa and beat the Hawkeyes.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a lose-lose situation for Iowa. It ended up being even worse than that to take on North Dakota State. I mean, I don't want to bring these guys and play them anywhere at all. But where it could end up hurting Sam is in the playoffs because they don't have that opportunity to play a game at a faster rate of speed.
Right.
So it may, in some sense, hurt them into the playoffs because they're not getting that high level of competition at the FBS.
Townsend with a running play, and Bowling is there to stop him. Bowling and Walker doing a nice job here on this drive and teaming up to snuff out the running game.
We've seen Andre Walker, 6'1", 221, really become the kind of player that HBU wanted to see out of the true freshman out of Slidell, Louisiana. And you talk about depth, that's how you create it. You recruit well, you get a true freshman on the field, you got this guy for 4 years as a star defensive end who's going to grow into being one of the better players eventually in the Southland Conference.
And he supplanted Teron Simmons, as a two-letter winner, junior, at that position. So that shows you how good as a true freshman that Walker can be. Running play will get maybe a yard. Set up 4th down and 4. Clock continues to roll down to 2:20 left in this one.
Carry by Townsend. Ball is placed at the 41-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down.
It was taking a while for Casey Keeler to get his
Think about it. Yeah, he was thinking about saying, you know, let my guys go. If we get it, fine. If we don't get it, that's fine too.
Sometimes I think coaches they're almost calling a game of Madden where it's when we played Madden way back in the day, you were forced to punt on 4th down.
Yes.
It was illegal to go for it on 4th down because, you played a game of Madden. You're always going for it on 4th down. We had to make it illegal to do it.
Meet you right up midfield.
And I think time expired before they snapped it away. See, when I played football, like that as a kid, it was on the little electric table where you set the guys up and they kind of rattled around with the vibrations. That's how I.
That was my favorite game as a kid. That's where I learned all my football strategy. But the difference was real football strategy and electronic football, because you always had the guy that would go around in a circle. You just go in a circle, you're like, I can't use that guy. Does that happen in real football?
That's right. So on 4th down and 9 now. Figgenshaw gets it away. Oh, another monster kick. Brandon Taylor, fair catch at his own 14-yard line. I'll tell you what, punters in this ball game have done an outstanding job. Guys for each team have really launched some bombs in tonight's contest.
I give Shane Leckler a bunch of grief all the time about punting well at NRG Stadium. I'm like, Shane, you punt inside.
Climate control, come on.
Yeah. You're not punting in the rain or the wind. Now, I will say the wind is died down at this point. There is no wind, and it is a beautiful Houston night. But Guzman and Figgenshaw have crushed it. But I give Shane grief all the time about that. Good old Fort Bend County boy from East Bernard.
Running play, Craig Bell fights for yards across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Figgenshaw is 5 for 45.6. And Guzman is 10 for 41.7.
We get our first look at Max Staver in the game for Tony Dawson. Staver 6'6", 240, a junior out of Brentwood,
Tennessee. Started at the University of Florida, then went to Tyler Junior College before coming here last season.
And you mentioned Craig Bell on that last carry. HBU can go 3 deep at running back as well. Craig Bell has shown some potential in the 3 games that we've called the last 3 weeks.
Bell's got it again, does well to get back to the line of scrimmage. We're down to 45 seconds, got about 1 more snap to go in this one.
Khalil Welsh with the tackle there, transfer from Wake Forest. And we were talking to talking to Sam Houston staff before the game. They've got 16 players from FBS universities that have transferred. So I think it's an interesting philosophy to have, but what Casey Keeler has done is not taken the one-year free agent. He's taken the guy that can come in as a sophomore and be there for 3 years.
Bell around the corner and picks up a first down as he gets to the 25-yard line before he's run out of bounds. He'll stop the clock with 14 seconds to play. We'll have one more snap here.
And a guy like Corey Avery came in last year, has 3 years. He's now a junior, even though he didn't play tonight. He's a junior. He's electric. He didn't even start when he got there at Sam Houston State.
He was third string, had to work his way up.
And he transferred from Kansas. So these guys come from FBS universities. They're not handed anything on a platter over there at Sam Houston State. They got to work for it. And guys like Avery, you just saw Khalil Welsh, he transferred from Wake Forest. These guys are having to earn it
Game clock
on the
operator,
field.
please reset the game clock to 14 seconds, please.
Yep, we're inside the final
Thank
2
you.
minutes, and so on an out-of-bounds play, it stops and stays stopped until snapped again. Otherwise, in college football, once the ball is whistled ready for play, that clock goes back to work. Bell with one more run around the right end, and that should do it. We're down to 5 seconds, and that'll be it. But a gutsy effort from Houston Baptist, even though on the scoreboard it doesn't look like they put up a fight. But they gave Sam Houston State more than they bargained for 3 quarters here before the Bearcats opened it up in the fourth and final period to win it 52-16. Win number 199 for Sam Houston State coach Casey Keeler in his career. John and I will come back. Well, we'll talk to Coach first before we come back and wrap it up. You see the two coaches, Casey Keeler and Vic Shealy there, talking at midfield. Casey Keeler's got a lot of respect for what Vic Shealy has done. He said you can really see the growth in this third year of how far Houston Baptist has come. And when you look at 74-0 and 76-0 in the first 2 years, then they get a couple of touchdowns last year before giving up 49 in a row. And to hang tough for 3 quarters tonight shows just what a big difference this Houston Baptist team has made. And now Jeff Power has got the winning head coach, Casey Keeler.
Yeah, Casey Keeler joining us. 199 wins for you personally, 501 for this program. Thoughts about your performance tonight?
Yeah, I thought we played a pretty good HBU team that really challenged us the second half, and they made some plays. I think we feel good that we kept on playing, and we did a pretty good job. So we have a good team, and excited to be 3-0 and excited to move on to the next one.
And the next one is a big one against Stephen F. Austin next week, right back here in Houston at NRG Stadium. Thoughts about playing the Lumberjacks in another conference game?
Yeah, that's a rivalry that I don't quite understand. It's just like crazy. But we're excited about that, and obviously they had a big win against McNeese last weekend, and if they win this weekend, we'll be, probably number 2 and number 15 in the country playing against each other, and hope we're going to have a great crowd. We're ahead of ticket sales already, so it's exciting to play them down here.
Casey Keeler, enjoy the victory.
All right,
Let's send it back upstairs.
All right, Jeff, final score once again. Sam Houston State 52 and Houston Baptist 16. John and I will wrap things up here from Husky Stadium after one final timeout.
I can say it in 5 seconds.
Sounds good.
Should be for Sam. It should be 4, 5, and 9, based on what I'm looking at right on my computer. And the frequency for the Huskies should be 9, 2, and 9. But I need no graphics. I need no graphics.
Sam Houston State, the number 2 ranked team in FCS, goes to 3-0 on the season, 52-16 over Houston Baptist, which falls to 2-2 on the year. Before we get John Harris's final comments, a final word on the big play tracker from Michael Knapp.
Yeah, I sum it up like this way. Sam Houston made a big play on offense twice as often. They made a big play on defense 4 times as often.
Well, that usually gives you a victory in the ball game. John Harris, some final thoughts. You know, they're number 2 for a reason, Sam Houston State, and Houston Baptist, a team that is continuing to build and making positive steps.
It's rare in a 52-16 game that you can find positives on both sides, but I think that's exactly what you can do. I think you can feel solid about, on the Sam side, that you produced 632 yards of offense and 52 points and probably feel like you didn't play all that well. But in the third quarter, if you're Houston Baptist, you had a 31-16 ball game against the number 2 team in the country, so you feel like you can play against anybody. And that, I think, has got to be a good feeling for Vic Shealy to walk out of here. Yes, you're upset about getting beat by Sam, but you feel like we can play with anybody, and now your kids believe it too, and you'll see that throughout the rest of the year in the Southland Conference.
Going to be interesting to see what happens next week when they go to Western Kentucky. So that'll do it from Husky Stadium tonight. Our final score, 52-16. Sam Houston State over Houston Baptist. For Jeff Power and John Harris and our entire crew, Tom Franklin saying so long from Houston.